Live in the morning. What's goody, Sawab? All right, hold on. What's goody, Sawab? What's goody, Jay? What's goody, Gooner? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I seen Khan versus Brooke. The gloves are off. I seen that. I seen a couple of clips. I want to watch the whole thing. That joint, like I said, a lot of people were moaning and groaning when the fight was first announced. They acting like they're not going to be excited, but I said, come fight week, everybody's going to feel it because people want to know. They want to see those two guys settle it. That's a fight where you don't need a belt to be on the line in order to sell it because the appeal of the fight is not a world title. Even though both guys are past their prime, the appeal of the fight is the bad blood between them. And because Kell Brook seems more vulnerable now than he seemed in previous years, I would have easily picked Kell Brook to win that fight. These days, I'm not so sure. I, like Amir Khan, feel that his punch resistance is all but gone. He ain't got the same chin that he used to have. It's a closer fight, and that's very, very intriguing. Everybody. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. For those that don't know, you're going to be able to see that fight here in America by way of ESPN Plus. If you're in the United Kingdom, you already know that's a Sky Sports box office pay-per-view. Kind of weird that, ESPN decided to pick up that fight, but they didn't pick up Eubank versus Williams. I had to pay a $30 pay-per-view to be able to see that card. And I think I know what it was. It's that the people at ESPN figure Khan versus Brooke is actually a fight where both the fighters have been in there with American fighters, thus making them familiar faces. We've seen Amir Khan with anybody from Maidana to Crawford to Danny Garcia, so we know that guy. And with Brooke, we've seen him in there with Porter, Golovkin, Crawford, etc. We know that guy. I figure the reason they picked up Khan versus Brooke is because they figure these are two fighters that Americans are actually familiar with. Whereas Americans, they don't really know Chris Eubank Jr. They don't really know Liam Williams, so they didn't bother to pick that up. That's what I think they were thinking, you know what I mean? Oh, but that's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to that. Eson was good. I wanted to pull up this screenshot from the immortal Rick Glacier, who says, hold on, let me get it up. Let me get this up. No, that's not the screenshot I'm looking for. We're going to talk about that too. Rick Glacier says, appreciate that, George. I'm 70% sure Khan wins. Yo, man, we going to talk about it, bruh. We going to get into that. Rick Glacier says, Keith Thurman's clearly on the back nine as a fighter. Now also on the back nine as an attraction. Hashtag Thurman versus Barrios only did a little under 40,000 buys. How bad is that? Pay-per-view over-under was set at 50,000 buys. Let's all hope this is a lesson to be learned for hashtag Al Hyman. And I believe these numbers. I believe these numbers as a consumer because they reflect my feelings as a consumer. On Twitter, where reality is often skewed and people don't like to be honest, on Twitter, they'll tell you that, oh, Thurman deserves this. Thurman has always done such and such and such in the past. Yeah, the past is the past, bro. It was 2 years. Ahead of that fight, it had been a little over 2 years since Thurman fought anyone. Why are you basing his marquee value here today based on a buzz that he used to have or what he used to do? He's not doing that anymore if he hasn't fought in 2 years. When I see that number, what I see is my feelings on the fight that, yeah, like there was no way in hell, no way in God's green earth I was going to pay cash money to see that dude fight. And I challenge any of you out there in the comments, did you buy the fight? Did you pay for the pay-per-view? I'm pretty sure you didn't. I'm pretty sure because none of us wanted to see that fucking fight. The gloves are off was hilarious. Khan is a troll. Yeah, Khan is a special dude, man. He's clearly winning the mental battle, and it feels like he has Kell Brook in his feelings. He got him in his feelings. He real emotional and shit, and that could make him more aggressive. Does that make him more dangerous? I don't know. If you go standing in front of Amir Khan trying to take his head off because he hurt your feelings, that makes it easier for Khan to counter you, doesn't it? And if Khan is right and Kell Brook's punch resistance isn't what it used to be, Khan might beat him to the punch. He might get off and he might get off first. It's that kind of situation. I don't think either guy takes a great punch. I mean, Khan never had a granite chin. You feel me? Like, that was always his Achilles heel, that he just don't take a great punch. That being said, they're on an even playing field now. It feels like they're on even terrain to where, yeah, Khan don't take a great punch and he never has, but now Brooke is vulnerable. Brooke don't take a punch as good as he used to. So if Khan still has a little bit of that hand speed left, maybe he could beat him to the punch. Maybe he could knock him out. I'll pay for Bud to KO Thurman in 5 rounds. I dig it, Victor. I'm with you on that shit. I would pay to see that. I'm not telling you to do 200,000 pay-per-view buys or 300. Nah, it probably won't, because motherfuckers are sick of getting ganked in America with these, pay-per-views. But if you told me Crawford versus Thurman on pay-per-view, yeah, I'd buy that for Crawford. I'd buy that to watch him knock Keith out, because that's what's going to happen. Motherfuckers play games on social media all day because it's for the birds. Motherfuckers acting like all these years, people have been acting like they don't know any better. Like, if you actually put these guys in the ring with Terrence Crawford, that he won't knock them the fuck out. If you put Danny Garcia in the ring with Crawford, he'll knock him the fuck out, bro. I don't give a shit if Danny never been. I don't care about what happened before he ever fought a Crawford. If he ever fought Crawford, I guarantee it, Crawford would knock his ass out. Same with Thurman. I said it with Sean 2-3 years ago, and that's not a knock on Sean. But those of you that follow this channel, y'all know that ain't no new news. I've been said, Crawford, the day Crawford and Sean fight, Terrence Crawford will be the first to stop Sean Porter. He'll be the first. The videos are still up from 2019, even 2018. I've been saying he stops every PBC welterweight there is, Errol Spence included, Yordenis Ugas included. He'll stop all them guys. Glass chin versus crack chin. Yeah, it's fucking wild out here. Why don't you call out Hearn for the constant spin? You only come down hard on Fury's antics. They're both master manipulators. What I will say to that is, here is a link and you can tell me how you feel. Address to me specifically, and the link is for Billy Bats. It's not for Tom, Dick, and Harry. It's not for everybody and their mother. The link I'm about to post is for Billy Bats. So Billy, I'm posting this link for you, and you could tell me specifically here in the morning, what is it you would like me to call out from Eddie Hearn? Simple. We're all adults here. There's no children here. There's no time for the little kid shit like that Sly Tendencies guy. Shout out to him. He came on here once, and he had he was very polite. I never would have known it was the same guy if I didn't look. And, when he came on and he talked, he was really, really, really polite. But the type of shit he says in the comments, that's not how he was talking. So I'm like, internet, man, the fucking internet. That's all I could chalk it up to, the fucking internet. Very angry Tyson Fury fan. But where was the lie, though? Didn't Tyson Fury say that Matchroom won the purse bid to Lopez versus Kambosos? He said that. That shit ain't true. They ain't win the purse bid. Triller won the purse bid. And you mad at me for pointing that out? He said they didn't deliver. Motherfucker, they the ones that actually did do the fight. Triller is the ones that didn't do the fight. You mad at me for pointing that out? He said that Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul does millions of pay-per-view buys in America. Bro, you didn't do millions of pay-per-view buys in America with Wilder, and you fought him 3 times. Not once did you do a million pay-per-view buys. So how the fuck would Tommy and Jake do millions of pay-per-view buys? I can't help it that your idol, your hero, say a lot of stupid fucking shit, bro. Like, what you want me to do? I'm telling you, the fight's not gonna happen. Fury won't fight White. The way I see it, Dennis, shout out to Dennis. The way I see it, and I've been saying it, if something don't happen to Fury, something might happen to White. The way I see it, I don't see the fight happening. I would like to be wrong. I would love for the fight to actually take place. But the look of it to me is, if Fury don't do some shit, White to do some shit. Maybe he don't like the money. Maybe he pull out because he not talking. He not saying nothing. So it could be either one of them that fuck up the fight. And even if Dillian says, nah, fuck it, I'll fight him, bet. Who say Fury don't get COVID, or he don't step on a Lego, or he don't eat some bad Chinese food the day before the fight and he pull out? Anything can happen, bro. Remember, Jamel Herring versus Oquendo, right? Jonathan Oquendo, they had to do that shit like 2-3 times because Mel Herring kept getting COVID. Anything can happen, bro. Fucking Eubank versus Williams was supposed to happen last year. That was supposed to happen last year, bro. Anything can happen, bro. From where I'm sitting, I'm like, yo, it ain't one way. Even if Fury, nothing happened to Fury. Well, who says Dillian don't pull out of the fight? We don't fucking know, bro. We don't know. And if they both want to do the fight, if they both like, nah, fuck that shit. We gonna do the fight. We gonna do the fight. No smoke, no mirrors. We gonna do the fight. Who say somebody don't get injured? Who say somebody don't get COVID? I find that fight hard to imagine. Like that it happens. I think it's a great fight. I think it could be commercially successful, but I think it's too good to be true. That's how I feel like, yo, if they actually would have fight, it's too good to be true. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that, bro. We're going to talk about that. Billy, you don't seem to call out. Brody, I posted a link for you. Stop being childish, bro. Stop being childish. I asked you a specific question. I didn't say nobody's mad. I didn't say shit. I said, if you think that I'm being biased and I'm not calling out Hearn, jump on here and you tell me what is it you would like me to address. You tell me, you yourself, you tell me, what would you like me to call him out on specifically? Motherfuckers gotta stop thinking that the internet is an escape from reality. No, it's real regular people with functioning brains that also use the internet. It's not just trolls. It's not just faceless accounts that want to hide whatever they hiding from. It's regular Joes like me that are asking simple and direct questions. If you think I'm being biased, if you say, oh, well, you only call out Fury, you don't call out Hearn, jump on here, right? Jump on here and tell me what it is you would like me to call him out on. You tell me, what would you like me to call him out on? I was goody, Kevin. Why can you not jump on the mic? Do you not have a smartphone? You could literally take your phone, click that link, and jump on here with your phone. Come on, B. Stop with the childish shit, man. Y'all cats gotta stop that shit. I don't know why y'all do it. It don't make y'all look good, to be real with you, man. If you saying that you want me to call him out on some shit, okay, what is it you want me to call him out on? What? And I want to hear you. I want to hear you and see you tell me, yo, you biased. Why you not calling him out on blah, 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 blah? Now, hold on, Sawab. I'm waiting for bats. I'm waiting for him. Same as Sly Tennessee. Sly Tennessee's jumped on here, and he was the most polite motherfucker in the world. But he get in the comments, and the energy is not the same. Bro, how you working and you listening to me, bro? Your boss not gonna get mad. He hear my voice in the background cursing and shit. Hey yo, this is the Billy's boss. You need to check on that dude, B. He not working. He over here listening to boxing talk instead of working, B. He need an evaluation, a productivity evaluation. What's goody? All right, what's goody, Ash? Ash says, White isn't going to do any promo unless he's paid. Bob has refused. This will do horrible numbers relatively. Hold on, let me get my shit together. I'm gonna say that, and I said it already in a video, that unless Dillian White is getting a share of the pay-per-view's upside, then there's no reason for him to promote. If all he stands to make is his guaranteed purse, then it makes no difference to Dillian White whether this pay-per-view breaks even or not. Now, if he were getting a share, then it would matter. Then it would be like, well, I want the pay-per-view to do well because I want it to have an upside because I get more money if there is an upside. That's if he had a share. But if all he's going to get is his guarantee, regardless of whatever, if all he's going to get is his guarantee, there's no reason for him to help promote the fight. Moreover, you have two Hall of Fame promoters with decades of experience in the sport, two Hall of Fame promoters. What the hell do they need Dillian White to sell a fight for? You got Tyson Motormouth Fury and two promoters on either side of the Atlantic Ocean. And you worried about White. I thought White wasn't shit. I thought White was a nobody. That's what I thought. Like, oh, he ain't got no marquee value. He lucky. That's what Fury fans were saying. Oh, he lucky to even. All right, then. If that's true, why do people need him to help promote the fight? Why does Bob want him? Like, nah, bro, you got it. You got it. You gonna promote it? You got it. All right, now I'm gonna open up the chat since Billy don't want to join me on this magnificent morning of Toxin Ball.
What's up, Jules?
Ain't shit, man. Ain't shit.
How we doing? Man, I knew he's not gonna click the link, bro. I just done. I just love messaging. That's it.
Yo, and these is the people that like to say, "Oh, you're biased. You're this." Yo, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody going to jump through the screen and do nothing to you, but I want you to come on here and say all that shit you saying to me, because we could address everything that you want in real time instead of, you know what I mean? We ain't got to do that. We don't got to do that. Not a White fan, but I can't blame him for staying silent. To be honest with you, the silence is open to interpretation. The silence could be discontent for the amount of money he stands to make. You know, maybe he wanted more. We know he wanted something closer to 10 million, and he is getting something closer to 10 million. But the silence could be that, you know what, he doesn't know if he wants to do this fight, or the silence could be that because of the arbitration between him and the WBC, he doesn't want to say a lot. It could be a lot of different shit. But the silence is not encouraging because it's like, all right, you normally say a lot of shit. You normally got a lot of shit to say. Now you mad quiet. I don't know what that is. I was goody Christopher, was goody Concha, was goody Lyman. You know what I mean? I don't know. That could be anything. Him being quiet, that could be anything. Like maybe he's quiet because he doesn't like the money, or maybe he's quiet because he really doesn't know if he wants to take this fight, or maybe he's quiet because there's a gag order due to the arbitration. It could be a lot of different shit. That's why I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna fight, man. I'm just saying, I don't know if they're gonna fight. I hope they do, but I don't know if they're gonna fight.
Morning, Jules.
Hi, what's goody? Hearn gets away with more because his reputation is better. Fury rightfully called out for his bullshit. However, Hearn calls Fury out for not wanting Usyk to deflect from AJ not wanting it. Okay, you're saying that Anthony Joshua didn't want to fight Alexander Usyk. Here's the problem with your theory, right? Didn't Anthony Joshua require a fuck ton of money? According to your guy, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua wanted a fuck ton of money to step aside. Does it sound like he didn't want to fight Usyk? He's basically telling you, if you want my opportunity to fight him, you're going to have to pay me through the nose, bro. You're going to have to. Because I'm not just going to give it to you. I ain't just going to step aside just to be stepping aside. If you want him, you got to pay me a lot of money. That sounds to me like a dude that don't want to step aside. If you tell me, yo, we want you to step aside so that Sawab could fight with Jay, but I want to fight Jay, right? Bang. Yo, I want 50 million, bro. That's the only way you're going to get me to step aside. Or I want 20 million, bro. It's the only way you're going to get me to step aside. Because if not for that, I'm not stepping aside. Is this what you mean when you say I don't call out Hearn? I'm gonna ask you a question. Why is it that Fury supporters don't want to talk about Aegis Climbers? I'm looking forward to Steve Kim's interview with Aegis Climbers because Steve tagged me to it yesterday that it's about, I don't know if it's posted yet, but I'm going to watch it. And I asked him, did you talk to Aegis about Fury? And he said, yes. I want to know more about what Aegis has to say because what I notice is Fury's fans don't want to talk about what Aegis said. All this shit of Eddie and Fury and Frank and fuck all that. Aegis don't normally be wrapped up in all that bullshit. And Aegis on his own shit said, yo, Fury, you the hold up. We accepted everything, bro. We was ready to go. You the one that's holding up the fight. I want to know more about that. Because I don't never see Aegis Climbers in no shit. Ever. I never seen Aegis Climbers doing the back and forth shit like Eddie and Frank. I never seen that. Usyk, I never seen him do that. And even now, he still didn't do that. In spite of Fury flapping his fucking motor mouth gums, you don't see Usyk, hey, fuck you, Fyodor. Nobody got time for that chicken head ass shit.
Jules, can I also mention why is Tyson Fury acting like as if he's the one paying Joshua money? Motherfucker, it's not you. It's the
Good
Saudis.
morning, everybody.
As long as I believe.
Yeah.
No, it's not him.
Why
It's
is he
not
acting like,
him.
oh, I had to pay him $5 million?
Because
bro.
it's because he's a bullshitter. If you read every version of the story that's out there, every single version of it, the money and the step aside was coming from Saudi Arabia. It wasn't coming from fucking Fury. It wasn't coming from Frank Warren or Bob Arum.
Exactly.
The Saudi Arabian cats was going to give him that money. So it's like, why you acting like it's your bread that was going to, it's not even your bread that was going to get him to step aside, bro.
I mean, the Saudis were
Good
going to pay
morning,
him
good
for the
morning.
undisputed fight and Joshua. They were going to pay him both before he screwed it up last year.
Basically, if you got Saudi Arabians with long money that's basically willing to pay two people to step aside, right? They willing to pay two people. Why are you acting like that's your bread? It's not
And
your bread.
something, that's why I agree with Eddie Hearn when he says that these guys don't ask their man the questions. When I'm talking about IFL, because he's talking about IFL in particular, because obviously, if we notice it, Coogan doesn't interview everybody. Coogan has now left Bob and Frank to that guy. I can't remember his name.
He left them to Umar.
Yeah,
Umar.
so that's Umar's.
Umar, IFL Umar.
What's his name does? Coogan does like Dylan, Tyson. He will do Eddie. Yeah. So the fact is, I agree with Eddie that they don't ask Frank them questions because at the end of the day, when Umar asked him the question about why they didn't take the fight, and Eddie and Tyson, Frank was like, oh, because AJ was being greedy and he wanted 5 million more, and then Fury was like, no, I'm not giving him any more money. Why didn't Umar say to him, oh, so is Fury paying? It's Fury that's gonna pay AJ, yeah, not the Saudis. It's a Fury thing, because then that would have been a question that he'd have to answer. But yeah, man, it's all stupid. I don't even know. I just don't really care.
Yeah,
All
but
of
you
this
know what this
stuff,
shit
man,
is?
I just don't care about it.
You know what this shit is, bro? It's more like everybody's acting like they have no common sense, and that's what happens when you
Big
talk
time.
to. That's what happens when you talk to anybody's fanboys, whether it's Errol Spence's fanboys or Fury's fanboys or Wilder's any fanboy. They literally will sit there and act like they have no common sense. In every version of this story, it's the Saudi Arabians that would have been paying everybody to step aside, not Fury, not Frank, not Bob. The Saudi Arabians would have. It's their money that would have financed that. So use your fucking common sense. Why Fury calling people greedy? It ain't your money, bro. It's not your money.
Jules, I don't get how can he say I'm happy that the zone didn't put 50-60 million. What the fuck, you were gonna get that type of money? You were gonna get the 80% of it. Are you stupid? What kind of businessman are you?
Let me address this. This Billy Bats guy, he claims he's at work, right? He can't click the link because he's at work. But look at the comments section.
I see. We see him.
He all in that. Like, see, this is the shit. This is the shit. Now,
Julius, you know these niggas is weirdos, man. These niggas
He
is
ain't
weird.
work. He ain't at work.
Dude,
He ain't at work.
there's
he
me
ain't at
begging
work,
people
bro.
to debate me. There's me begging
That's
people
I'm
to
actually at
debate me,
school,
and
right?
nobody's having me on. And then there's this
Bruh.
motherfucker just typing shit. We're telling him to come on.
Yeah, like he act like first things first. If I invite somebody on, like the way I'm inviting him, I ain't gonna jump you, bro, and I'm not gonna let everybody jump all over you. It'll just be me and you. And you can ask me all the silly. The reason, and I'm gonna say this, the reason he doesn't want to jump on is because he will know how he sounds if he has to say the shit that he's typing. He knows. All of them
Julius,
know.
can
They all know. They all know. If you have to say the goofy shit that you're typing with your voice to me, you know how you're going to sound.
Julius,
give
let
me
me
so
at him,
much
man.
trouble.
Can I come at him? Like, I really want to eat food. Like, you be eating food too much. I know this is your channel, but like,
Yeah,
I'm trying to eat
he
some of these
eats
dumb
these
niggas'
motherfuckers,
food.
baby. Eating these
Eat,
motherfuckers.
just
Shit is crazy, B.
eat food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, bro, Julius, let me on, bro. Let me eat some of these niggas' food right quick one of these days, B.
I mean,
I'm in school.
I would be happy to, but the thing is that once again, this channel, unlike a lot of other channels, I'm not here for the shouting matches. I'm not here to call, your mother or all this. I'm not going to do that. We're going to handle this like gentlemen with parliamentary procedure, like adults, right?
Are
If
you
you,
really good? You at Chris Eubank Senior? That's how I
I'm with,
know
yeah,
you're
no,
old.
because
You're
no,
old.
no, no.
You.
Listen, I am an old motherfucker, and the easiest way to make a motherfucker, a stupid motherfucker, feel stupid is to let him talk. So all I gotta do is let Billy on here. Go ahead, Billy. The floor is yours. Talk. You
It's
tell me
true.
what the fuck I did. Tell me what the fuck it is you want me to call him out about when Aegis Climax, and I have said this on multiple occasions. Never mind Eddie Hearn. Never mind Frank Warren. Never mind Tyson Fury, because they talk shit back and forth all day. Why is Aegis Climax, who don't normally say nothing to nobody about nobody, why is he blaming Tyson Fury? I said
Because
that
he's
shit go ahead, bro.
because he's right because he knows he's the culprit. I'm about to get off soon, so this is going to be my spit. So, like you were saying, the Saudis put up the money for Anthony Joshua and Dillian White to step aside, right? But it was Tyson Fury's fault for wanting to get one of the BS non-title fights that we don't do in this generation, and now he messed that up. So at the end of the day, if he really wanted that fight, he could have just said, "Yeah, let me fight Usyk." Boom. And we all know Tyson Fury doesn't like smaller heavyweights because of the coordination and what they do to him, i.e., Steve Cunningham. He had to go through
Bingo.
hell and back. He had to go through hell and back to beat Steve Cunningham. He had an easier time fighting Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder than fighting a cruiserweight. So at the end of the day, that's why he messed that up. Aegis Climax don't really be talking about too much things because if it ain't dealing with his business, he don't give a fuck about it. So that
Okay.
is what it is.
Now let me
Come with
address
you later, bro. Peace.
let me address Billy Bats. If Hearn was desperate for Tyson Fury to fight Usyk instead of AJ, right? Then why wouldn't he have just stepped aside, bro? For 15 million or whatever. You saying that he desperate. You saying I'm not even saying that. I don't really see nobody saying that except Fury, which leads me to believe that you're a Fury fan. If Eddie Hearn was desperate for AJ to not fight Usyk, right? If he desperate, then wouldn't they have stepped aside? It can't be both. You know what I mean? Like you can't say, oh, he greedy, he want too much money to step aside, and at the same time, oh, Eddie wanted him to step aside. That shit don't make sense, bro. If he was desperate for Usyk to fight Fury instead of AJ again, he would have just fucking stepped aside. Or they would have just stepped aside. It can't be both.
It's that oxymoron thought process, bro.
It gotta
People
be.
ain't thinking about this thing properly. Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, if you really look at it, Eddie don't give a shit either way. He just wants it to happen. And at the end of the day, what everything, because at the end of the day, they're talking about, Eddie's not going to get what did they say? He's not going to get he's not going to get a cut from this age Fury versus Dylan White. It's nothing to do with that. Eddie Hearn has never been Dylan White's promoter per se.
Exactly.
He doesn't care. He doesn't want to cut. He's never been his promoter from the beginning. So at the end of the day, they have a working relationship fight by fight. But at the end of the day, he can fight on any platform whenever he wants because he's not signed to Matchroom or The Zone or anything like that. He chose to have that fight with Wallin that didn't happen. He chose to have it on The Zone because obviously Eddie's going to pay him a good wage. And that's what it is.
The other thing is, I said this after the purse bid, and these cats don't want to understand this. Do you think Eddie Hearn wants to be on the hook $41 million? No, he dodged the bullet. Y'all willing to pay that for this fight?
100%.
Jules, just do you think that like Eddie, because like you think it was a strategic play from Eddie to like bid aggressively so he could force Frank and Bob's hand still?
I would say yes, because nobody's paying attention to how they priced the fight before. Frank and Bob, based on what they, the numbers that were out there, which is all we have to go off of, based on the numbers that were out there before, it looks like they priced the fight at about 20 to 25 million. Eddie Hearn bid 32 million.
Yep.
That is aggressive. That's a lot more than y'all bid. Then y'all bid more aggressively. Oh, we gonna pay him for. Y'all got it like that? You got it, because I don't want to be in the whole $41 million. Like, you got it, bro. Y'all got it. Like, I don't want to have to clear that. Like, y'all wilding. Y'all really gonna get 40 Fury, 40 whatever the fuck. Y'all got it, B. Y'all got it. Y'all could do that.
Jules, I don't get why is Tyson Fury so happy that Eddie Hearn didn't win the bid? If Eddie Hearn bid 50 million, what the fuck are you gonna get 80% of that?
Because he doesn't bro, I said it from the very beginning. As soon as this fight became a talking point, he does not want to fight under the match. I'll say this. That's not even what I said. What I said was, I don't think he wants to fight under Matchroom, and I cannot see him fighting under Matchroom. If you go back to every video I did about the subject, that's what I said word for word. I can't see Fury boxing on a Matchroom show. I just don't see that, bro. For whatever reason, I don't see that. Now, if you ask me my opinion, do I think he would want to box on a Matchroom show? No, and he just said he didn't want to. He literally said he didn't want to Umar. They're like, I'm glad Matchroom ain't win the bid. Why would you be glad, though? Never mind. I said, I don't think that dude want to box on Matchroom. Maybe he figures that on a Matchroom show, Dillian White will have the upper hand. Maybe that's how he looks at it. I don't know. I just know that's what he said. I'm glad Matchroom didn't win the purse bid. That's what he said. And then he says some nonsensical shit after that about Lopez and Cambosos. It's like, bro, it's obvious. What makes you think that after all these years, Tyson Fury would want to box on a Matchroom show? What makes you think that after all this shit?
And you have to realize, Frank ain't done nothing for Tyson Fury, you know. What has Frank done for Tyson Fury, really? He ain't done nothing for him.
Cephas Safari and Francesco Pianetta, that's it.
Nothing. He ain't done nothing for him. So his loyalty isn't the fact that he's loyal to Frank. He just dislikes Eddie. Because they've had their comings together, they've had their differences. He just dislikes Eddie and he don't like that setup. So that's why he don't want to fight on Matchroom. Nothing to do with being loyal to Frank, because Frank ain't done nothing for him.
I mean, maybe to some degree. I don't know, because I don't know what the relationship is behind the scenes. So it's a very valid question. As far as Queensberry and Frank Warren, what have they done for Fury, Francesco Pianetta, and Cephas Safari? The Wilder fight, that was not a Queensberry promotion. It literally, it wasn't a Queensberry promotion, bro. That was a PBC promotion, and Tom Brown and them, the first one. And the only reason you got that shot was because of them, not because of Frank Warren. That wasn't Frank's show. It's not hard to see that Frank was not the lead promoter for that show. If you want to know who the lead promoter was, go to BoxRec, go to Event, and you'll see who the lead promoter was. It's not, none of this is hard to find or hard to figure out. The pay-per-view was in America. Do you fucking think the pay-per-view in America means Frank Warren is the lead promoter? No. Now I'll say Bob has done more for Fury than Frank. Yeah, Bob
See,
Arrow.
no, yeah, you know what? I'm actually wrong. You know what? Frank has done something for Tyson. He's got him the link with Frank. That's what I mean. Got him the link with Bob. Frank Warren got him the link with Bob Arum. That's what he's done for him.
Oh,
Really.
okay, we'll say that, but at the same time, Bob saw the opportunity, or he saw it as an opportunity after Wilder versus Fury won, that he want to scoop him up. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say that Frank made that happen unless there's confirmation. I don't know that. The most I can say is based on what I've seen, Bob did more for Fury than Frank, because he got him the Tom Schwartz fight. He got him the Otto Verleen fight. He got him a better purse in the second fight than what he got in the first fight. And he got him a better purse in the third fight than he got in the first fight. So Bob did something for him. And maybe there's some sort of loyalty there. But either way, we can all see Fury doesn't want to box on a matchroom show. Nah.
What did Fishhair Warren do for him? Nothing. He hasn't done nothing for him. He's been fighting in America for the past 3 years. He didn't fight in the UK.
Thank you.
Hold on. Hey, yo.
The fuck did he what? Gave him those 2 shit fights?
All right, hold
Fair
on.
enough, he gave him the Wilder fight after.
All right, go ahead, Kong. Kong hasn't had the chance to speak. Go ahead, Kong.
Hey, sorry about that, man. Hey, sorry, Sawab. My bad, bro. Morning to everybody on the panel.
Morning, man.
Unlike other people who say they're at work, I'm actually at work, and just hear me out quickly before these people come in my office. So I didn't think y'all be talking about Tyson Fury. I thought y'all be talking about Samson. But anyway.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that, bro. We're gonna get to that,
It's
bro.
cool. I'm not gonna be on the panel for that one, but I'll listen to that one. But I'm just wondering if nobody sees it strange that Tyson Fury stuck on a $20 million number. Before he said Deontay Wilder wanted 20 million to step aside. Then when Anthony Joshua called him out about the Billy Joe Saunders shit, he challenged Anthony Joshua to a street fight for $20 million. No, it's another $20 million. So it's like he's stuck on this number 20 million. This dude is a complete liar. And if I'm AJ, I should have asked for $30 million. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want me to not fight this man for my belts back, I'm gonna extort you, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna extort you. Because if I actually want to step aside, I'll make it much easier for you. Because I want to step aside.
Thank you, Kong. Thank you, Kong. Thank you.
If you want me to step aside, I'm gonna make it very, very, very expensive for you and whoever else. Doesn't matter. And as somebody said here, was it you, Julius? That wasn't Tyson Fury. Fury's money. It's not coming out of your purse. So why you care?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? This is the same Tyson Fury who turned down 60-40 to fight Anthony Joshua before Deontay Wilder.
Thank you.
Because
everybody forgets about that.
He wants 50-50. I know Anthony Joshua is greedy, but he wasn't greedy then when he had no belts, no nothing. But he wants 50-50. Him and Frank Warren talking about it's a derisive offer. I ain't forgot none of that shit.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You got Frank Warren when the same December when Anthony Joshua boxed Kubrat Pulev for the IBF mandatory. Tyson Fury was supposed to fight in England. And what do they say? Oh, we can't get the money together. We can't do this. We can't do that. Right? It's all this nonsense with Tyson Fury, right? And to see people running around here, filling up people's back chats and private chats or whatever with Tyson Fury nonsense. You want me to take Tyson Fury's words for whatever? Anthony Joshua should have said $50 million. That's what he should have said. That's what he should have said. He asked for too little to me. To
me, the fact that he's saying, and I tend to believe it, that maybe Anthony Joshua required even more money to step aside. What that tells me is he didn't want to step aside. But if that's how you want to play it, I'm going to extort you, bro. I'm going to get a lot of money to do nothing, all right? Because I don't want to step aside. You want me to step aside. Okay, 20 million. Then I step aside.
Easy, right? But all I'm saying is, all these people in the chat who are upset and all of that, nothing I said just now was a lie. Nothing I said just now was a lie. Nothing. You check? And I don't understand how y'all coming here to stump for the most, how do I say, the most unreliable, the most flaky boxer in the sport. Y'all want to shit on Dillian White, a guy who did pay-per-views in the UK, brought big fights to the UK. This man did service to UK boxing. AJ did service to UK boxing, but now y'all want to throw y'all support behind this dude?
It's wild.
He never box in the UK again? Y'all crazy.
It's
Anyway,
what,
man, I listening to y'all, man. Peace and power to everybody.
and that's the stance that I've maintained throughout. That while Tyson Fury was saying that he won't box in the UK ever again, that he's turning his back on the UK fans after the Wilder fight. He said that. That came out of his own mouth. He said that Dillian White was doing pay-per-views in the UK. He was selling out the O2 Arena in the UK, so that in the buildup of this situation, Fury's fans could say, "Oh, he ain't worth nothing. Oh, he ain't this." And I'm like, wait a minute. In the last 3 years, Dillian White put mad asses in the seats in the UK. I ain't talking about the pandemic. Nobody was putting asses in the seats except for Tim Tszyu during the pandemic. You feel me? Because he fought in front of 14,000 people. And I know at the end of the year, Spence had the pay-per-view with Danny. But most guys, they wasn't fighting in front of a whole lot of people during the shutdown. You cannot base Dillian White's marquee value on Fight Camp. That come on, like really? Those is games, and that's the fucking games that Fury's fans is playing. That's the fucking games that Frank. Oh well, he only got 300. Like really, you really expect me to believe that this dude only fought for $300,000, bro? I would have to be a fucking idiot to believe that.
And can I just add the same thing we're saying? Why doesn't Umar ask the same questions? Like, we talking, he didn't make 300K. He sold out the O2 Arena with Povetkin, with Parker, with Chisora. So you're telling me you only got paid 300K
Exactly.
for Chisora? You think Chisora will take that kind of money? So what do you think Chisora got paid?
Exactly. Like, bro, Chisora got paid money for the first Parker fight.
Right, Chisora wants extra money to speak on press conferences. Tell Eddie Hearn to pay me, put duct tape on his mouth. Like, shut the hell up.
That's what I mean. That I'm like, yo, every time we get into certain subjects, there's a faction, and usually it's Fury's fans, that they don't make no sense. They don't, like, you really believe that after think about it, he got knocked out by Povetkin. The purse for the first fight says $4 million, bro. That's the number that's out there. I didn't put the number out there. If I look and I do research and I look at several different sources, the number that keeps popping up is $4 million. When it comes to the rematch, it's the same thing. That's the number that comes up, $4 million. You talking about a guaranteed purse, and like, because they don't want to believe anything that Eddie Hearn says, this is what it really is. And Eddie Hearn explained it as best as he could. Dog, that guaranteed purse is not all he stands to make for a show, because he fucking owns the show. He's not going to have all his receipts in order.
I would like to ask another question. Was Tyson Fury on pay-per-view with Tom Schwartz and Wallen?
No.
Was it regular ESPN?
That was regular ESPN.
Thank you very much. There you go. Why wasn't it then? If he's such a big name, why isn't he on pay-per-view?
Yeah, I mean, no, and here's the funny shit. Look at I'm not gonna do it for nobody. I'm gonna ask y'all, look up the gate receipts for those fights, bro. Just so if you want to laugh at some shit, like if you need a laugh, you having a hard day, you want to laugh at some shit, look up the gate receipts for those fights.
They gave away tickets.
I mean,
they gave away tickets.
But Jules, I mean, fellas, like you were saying, like, these journalists in interviews, they're part of the problem. They let Fury get away with all this nonsense that he says. I mean, like if I was talking to him, I'd be like poking a bit, but like, wait a minute, dude, you're not making any sense. Like, how could Eddie Hearn want to Triller want to I'd be correct. I'd be setting his ass straight. I mean, but they let him get away with this, and that's part of the problem.
Well, to be fair, they did put the fight on. Mate, I'll
No,
tell
they
him.
did.
No,
I mean, they did.
still
They didn't originally win it though. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
IFL. No, I'm talking about Umar when he said, "Oh no, but they did put the fight on." Motherfucker, they didn't win. The Triller won it.
Yeah.
They couldn't put it on. So Eddie Hearn was the second, and he put the fight on.
The thing is that the days, and I've talked about this in the past, I haven't had to revisit this talking point in a while, but because boxing isn't necessarily at the forefront of the sporting world, the biggest sport in the UK is not boxing. The biggest sport in the UK is football. Soccer, what we call soccer, football. That's the biggest sport in the UK. So when you think of, and that's the biggest sport in the world, if we're being honest, in the world, the whole world, that's the biggest sport. So the coverage that boxing gets, it's not the same as it used to be. See, before you had news networks asking the questions. And they're not afraid to ask questions because I don't get what I'm going to get paid from a YouTube channel. I'm not a freelancer. I get paid by the network. So I'm going to ask you what people want to know, whether you like it or not. That's the way that it used to be because major networks were covering boxing and it was major networks that were asking the questions. Today, you have freelancers asking the questions who are afraid if they ask the wrong questions, they won't gain access to fighters and they won't get paid. That's the biggest difference between how the sport was covered then and how the sport is covered now. Like Larry Merchant, he ain't give a shit how you feel about what he asking you because, hey, I get paid by HBO, bro. You know what I mean? You don't pay me. I get paid by HBO. Whereas now, and I'm not knocking Umar. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to say that his situation is not that situation. He can't ask him any old shit and hope to gain access to him again. You know what I mean? You ask him something that he doesn't like, next thing you know, his publicist or his manager, hey, get him out of here because we don't like the shit. We didn't like his line of questioning from the previous interview. Get that guy out of here. That's what's going on right now, and that's why so many of the media members, like Marco Ortega, he's basically a PBC show, and we'll get into why. That's why so many of them are like Mike Coppinger. He's like a bootlicker, that guy. Like, bro, you a brown, you're not even meaty, you a brown noser, bro. You are another arm of their promotion. That is what you are. You're not a journalist. You're not a member of the media, because if you're a journalist, your goal is to get to the truth. So you have to ask the hard-hitting questions like, well, no, Matchroom didn't win the purse bid. Triller won the purse bid, and they failed to deliver. Matchroom delivered the fight. The only reason the fight happened, and quickly, I might add, after Triller was found in default, because after they were found in default, it didn't take Matchroom long to put the fight together. The only reason that happened is because of Matchroom. So you got your wires crossed, Fury. You're not going to see that. Ain't nobody going, not these guys. You know what I mean? Now, maybe if they get them on Talk Sport, for example, when Mauricio Suleiman was on Talk Sport, I forgot the guy's name. I think it's Simon. What's that guy's name, man? From Talk Sport, the podcast, the radio show.
Oh, man.
He wears glasses.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. I can't remember his name either.
So white guy.
Yeah, that guy. He had Mauricio Suleiman on there, right? And when he had Mauricio Suleiman on there, he grilled him. He grilled him in a way that you're not going to see no YouTube channel grilling him like that.
He left.
He left.
He left.
And bear in mind that the questions that the guy was asking him, it wasn't ambush journalism and it wasn't combative. Those were straightforward questions that need answers. And he wasn't hostile. Like, it wasn't like he was coming at him and being hostile.
We don't want any journalist to do that, to be going out there swearing. We do it on a panel, that's a different thing. If it's face to face, I'm not gonna swear at the guy. I'm gonna ask him these straightforward questions. If he doesn't like it, he's gonna leave.
Exactly. And when he
Simon Jordan, that's his name. Box Watch just said it. Yeah, Simon Jordan, that's him. Yeah.
The Simon Jordan guy, and I invite anybody to go back and watch that interview to see what I'm talking about. The questions that he asked him, those were straightforward, no nonsense, well thought out questions that need answers. They're like, what's the fucking point in paying you guys? Because I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember verbatim, but what he asked him in a nutshell was, well, what's the point in Dillian White paying you guys sanctioning fees when you're the ones who are delaying his title shot, but you're still getting money though? He's still paying you sanctioning fees, and you're the ones delaying his title shot. He asked them a whole ton of shit, and I was like, and he's not being hostile, he's not being combative, he's not being aggressive. And Mauricio was fumbling his words and all this. It's like, bruh, that's the kind of journalism that's the kind of coverage, I should say, that boxing doesn't get anymore. Because for the most part, the people asking the questions are freelancers that are happy to have access. Like, well, thank you. And I'm not a hater. I understand it. The dynamic is different. If you ask Wilder the wrong thing, like Raheem did, look at what happened. Look at what happened to Raheem after that.
But they
can do that to Eddie Hearn, though. No, they can do. Coogan does it to Eddie Hearn, the way he's grilling him, and He's asking him, "Can you do?" I'm not telling you not to go me. I gave you the answers to it straight up front. But can you do the same with the others, Bob Arum and Fish Eye Ward? No.
Well, I'll say this. I like I've become very big on Boxing Social. I became big on Boxing Social around the time that the AJ versus Wilder stuff was going on, because some of the most revealing interviews were the Boxing Social interviews. It was a Boxing Social interview where Frank Warren revealed that the money for the fight was going to come from BT, and I was like, wait a minute. AJ just signed to Sky. How the fuck is the money coming from? How could the money for the offer be coming from BT Sport if y'all know he's under contract with Sky? That, like, come on. And all I can say is, look, most boxing fans, they're fucking mongoloids. They have no common sense. Look now, Samson Lukowicz, $7 million. Oh no, he wants over $7 million for Andre fight. And I see guys on Twitter, like, not a lot, because most people are of the opinion that, bro, you are fucking wilding, bro. 7 million. But I seen one or two guys that like, oh, well, he might understand. He like, nah, bro. That's a textbook price out. They no way. You asking for Canelo money for Andre. Come on, B. Come on, B. You got to make it make sense, man. You got to make it make sense. I'm going to shift gears now because I feel like we've been on that for a while. I'm going to ask the people in the chat. I'm going to ask the people on the panel, who do you have winning this weekend's fight and why? Starting with Jay.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You sure I'm just leaving work, getting out of here? Well, I think it's a toss-up, but I'm going to go with Khan. I think he's kind of the safer option at this point, because I just think that Jules, I agree with all your points. I think that, like, if Khan's hand speed is still relatively fast, he could just embarrass Brooke and make him look foolish. And I think Brooke is kind of going into this fight with the wrong headspace. You know what I mean? He's emotionally compromised. You know what I mean?
I think that too.
That's not good. That's not a good sign. So I'm gonna go with Khan.
Anybody that saw The Gloves Are Off, for those of you that haven't seen it already, it's available here on YouTube.
I gotta watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
It's available here on YouTube, and it's not a question of whether or not Khan is in his head. Khan is in his head, bro. I almost felt bad for Kel when they was talking about.
Yo, Jules, he's got a mansion in that shit, man. He's living in there and chilling.
Brooks was shook. He was shivering. He was nervous. He gave him the A side.
So wow, that's anger, bro. That's anger. Like, Brooke, look, when he was talking about, I want my credit because I went through America and I did it the hard way. Yo, if you look at Brooke face, B,
Khan goes, well done. He had 2 fights in America. Well done. Congrats.
I was like, this is one of those things. Before I pass it to you, Sawab, as far as your prediction, I want to say that this is one of those things. I've referenced this before, that sometimes a guy will say he wants a fight and he might really want that fight, but when the moment is actually in front of him and the person is actually in front of them, after all this time and all this different stuff has been said, they shrink. I saw it happen to Broner in the Pacquiao fight, that when Manny was finally there and he's in front of you and you are going to fight, it's done, you shrink. I saw it happen to Thurman, that Manny wasn't even bothered. Like, Manny didn't care about none of that shit Thurman said. Like, bro, I'm going to fuck you up, bro. I don't got to sit here and say shit. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And I could see, like, Thurman, he was kind of shrinking. In this situation, Brooke is shrinking because Khan don't look bothered by nothing that he's saying. You've convinced yourself, and people have convinced you, and maybe they're right, that Khan was running from this fight. Yeah, maybe he was, but he's not anymore. So the past is the past, bro. Saturday almost here.
He's running from the fight to fight who, though? Look, you have to look at the names. You have to look at the names he was fighting. The way Khan was looking at it, from what I believe, that Kell Brook is beneath me. I'm above him. And I'm fighting Canelo. I'm fighting forgot his name, man. The one Brooke fought as well. So bad with names.
No, look, I'll say in the past, if we talk about let's talk about let's say pre-20, let's say pre-2015 Khan, right? Even though I still kind of feel that he was avoiding the fight, but he did fight bigger names and he did have a more successful career than Brooke. I think we can all agree on that. The thing
He
is,
was chasing Mayweather. He was chasing Manny Pacquiao. He was chasing the Canelos. He was
but,
chasing
but
bigger fights.
But what I'm gonna say is that remember that about maybe 3 years ago, Amir Khan entered into a 3-fight deal with Matchroom on Sky Sports, and he fought Samuel Vargas on there, and I forgot who else he fought. He had those fights, and the whole point of that deal was to eventually do the Brooke fight. Instead of fighting Brooke, the motherfucker fought Crawford. Now you can't say. It's like on one end, it's like
that's the one.
And it's
Crawford.
like
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Crawford.
And it's like, well, can you really say that he ducked Brooke to fight Crawford? But at the same time, yo, dog, you said you signed this deal to fight Brooke, and you didn't fight Brooke though. Like whatever's whatever, you didn't fight Brooke. After the Crawford fight, you went to the Far East, you went to the Middle East, and you fucking fought Billy Dib. You know what I mean? And he made
gonna fight some Indian guy at first.
Yeah,
He
was.
Pakistan versus India, but then that guy pulled out, so he had to face Billy Dibs.
I remember for the WBC Pearl Belt. So I'm like, I see why Brooke feels the way that you know what I mean? Like, I see why he feels the way that he feels, but I also see now that the moment is here and you don't see fear in Amir Khan's eyes. If anything, he's talking shit. It's making he's talking shit. It's like it's bothering you.
Yeah, he knows he got him. I think he was the right time. He's saying no. He goes, yeah, the fight didn't happen. The fight didn't happen, but it's happening now. It's happening now. So for Khan, I'm gonna give my prediction. I think Khan's gonna win, but I don't know. I don't think he can knock out Brooke. I think he's gonna go to points.
All right. So Khan on points. Khan on points. Isan, who's gonna win this weekend's fight? All right, Isan hasn't decided.
Hi. Yeah, I agree with Isan.
I agree with everything he said. I mean, it makes sense. The main thing is that it makes sense. Y'all know how I feel. I think they're both shot. I think both of their punch resistance is Khan. He never took the greatest punch, but now
retire. Yeah, he said he's gonna retire after this fight. It's his last fight.
So the next question I have,
you know what this sorry, Jules, just right quick. But you know what this fight's going to be for the most part? It's just going to be a game of boxing chicken. Like who lands the big shot first, then that's it.
Yeah, because at first I don't imagine that anybody's going to commit to their shots at first. The worst thing that Brooke could do is shoot out of his corner like a bat out of hell, because he's definitely going to get knocked out if he does that. He is.
That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing you can do.
If he shoots out of his corner based on emotion and anger and the scale of the fight and just everything, right? If he gives into that, he's going to get knocked out faster. He needs to box. Like, bro, box. Don't go straight at him, because he's going to knock you out while he fresh. He faster than you while he's fresh.
Joe, do what you did in the Crawford fight.
Each time says he's in class.
All right, let me read the super chat. Khan just didn't want to lose to a domestic rival. He knew he was going to lose to Crawford. Khan always looks confident, even with Canelo. Yeah, but this is personal, Joe.
Jules, I think the way I think he doesn't mind being beaten by the American and the Mexican, but I don't think he wanted to be beaten by a Brit. In Britain, you can say I'm the best in Britain.
I think we all agree on that. That at least in previous years, Amir Khan did not want to give him the satisfaction, and I still believe that. But I think Amir Khan knows, I caught the very best version of Brooke that I could have caught. Like, I got him at the right time, bro. Because this fight is at 149. It's either Brooke is gonna blow the weight and have to pay a fine, or he's gonna actually make the weight and be drained. I hope he's taking peds for this fight. I hope he's taking some peds for this fight. Is he with Engel for this fight?
He is. for this fight. Yeah.
All right, good.
He is.
All right, good. Good shit, man. I'm like, how the fuck he gonna make 149, bro? Like, nah, man. Like, it just don't look good, man. I think Khan gonna win it. I actually think Khan is gonna TKO him. I'm scared for Brooke if he gets TKO'd, what that could do to his psychology. Because this is like, I mean, like, you can see
he's been chasing this for a very, very long time. I think his career was based on Khan.
I mean, you could say that though. Like, a lot of the hype for a lot of years, that was the conversation. That if nothing else, I got that Amir Khan fight that I'm chasing. If nothing else, like, I could get stopped by Triple G. I could get my other eye broke by Spence, but at least I got that Khan fight. As long as Khan is around, I still got that, and I could chase that. Now, I don't know, man.
Okay. Now, but just quick question, right quick. Like, now, is there a rematch clause for both sides? Is that what I'm hearing? Or?
That's my understanding. It's a two-way rematch clause.
That's wild, man. How the hell? Okay, I mean, but okay. If Brooke loses, does he fight him again?
Depends on how he loses. It depends on how he loses. It does. Like, if it's a decision, the scenario has to be a certain way. Let's say it goes to a points decision, ho-hum kind of fight, but it's a commercially successful fight, right? Remember, there were 2 David Haye versus Tony Bellew fights, bro. Don't ever be. You never know, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying, how is it gonna work out? What if Khan doesn't win the fight, and what if say Khan wins and he doesn't want to give him the rematch? What's gonna happen? Is it gonna be?
Then we don't get the rematch.
Fine.
But Sawab, what if the fight makes money? What if it does good at the gate and the pay-per-view does good? You think Khan not gonna come back for that cash, especially if he wins?
But I get that if Khan wins by an inch in points. By an inch, you really think he's gonna give him a rematch?
Absolutely.
I don't personally think there won't be a rematch.
Isan,
can I just say,
Isan is cutting class. I gotta ask him a question. Wait, I gotta ask Isan a question because he cut in class. Isan, 4n equals 20. What is n?
And 40. It means Kel is getting
4n equals 20. What is n?
Oh, 5.
5.
All right.
Man, I'm in college. You better stop it. No, but Khan is gonna wash Brooke, I think, and I don't think the rematch clause is even gonna be needed because I feel like if Kel gets beat the way I think he's gonna get beat, I don't think you're gonna want to fight again, man.
You seeing like a Jeff Lacey kind of beating?
Literally, yeah.
Wow, yo, if he beats him like that, I'm not even playing. If Khan beats him,
that's gonna be so sad. That's gonna be so sad.
Real
the
shit.
only way I see it not happening that way, honestly, the only way I see Kel winning is if he blows the weight, bro. That's really the only way I see him winning.
Yo,
I was gonna ask a question earlier about the rematch. Say Khan wins by points, and he doesn't want to give the rematch to Brooke. What's gonna happen? Is he gonna be legally fucked? Would he be sued?
wait a minute. Oh, I see what you mean.
That's what I'm asking.
I think he can.
So if he doesn't give him the fight.
No, I think he can retire. What he can't do is fight. He can't fight. Like, let's say there's a two-way rematch clause.
Okay.
Let's say there's a two-way rematch clause. Brooke loses the fight. He exercises the rematch clause. If Khan retires, it's Tyson Fury versus Klitschko all over again.
Yeah,
like,
I was just about to say that's how Fury got out of the rematch. He just retired. That's why, and that's why he did all that coke and shit because he knew he was gonna fail the test and everything. He was like, "No, I'm retiring. That's it."
But
that's the only way he can get out of it.
Khan is saying that he's gonna retire.
Hey, fellas. That's how Floyd got out of the Oscar rematch too. Y'all remember?
Yeah, literally. Most people don't remember that Oscar wanted that rematch, and Floyd retired for like what was it, 2.5 years or something? Like, he was gone a minute.
Yeah, because it expires after a certain amount of time. So if you retiring is like the known way to get out of the rematch clause. If you retire for a little while, you're not contractually obligated anymore. The contract runs out.
Except if Khan retires, I think he'd be retired, or if anything, I'm gonna say this also. I think Amir Khan versus Money Kicks in the Burj Al Arab makes more money. And the Burj Al Arab makes more money. No, it's the truth. No, I'm being real. I like Mayweather's boxing, and that's why I'm a fan of him, right? But fandom, like, yeah, It's fucking Floyd don't got that. Like, yeah, it's Floyd. I think Khan versus Money Kicks makes more money in the Burj Al Arab on the helipad than Mayweather versus Money Kicks.
I have always said Money Mayweather has no fans. He has haters.
That's look, being real, that's not off base. Like, of course I appreciate his boxing. I'm a boxing fan. Like, I when I say, yo, he's one of the best I ever seen do it, I ain't bullshitting, but he don't have that adulation. You know, like that
Floyd,
Michael,
you know what it is about
Michael
Floyd?
Jackson reaction. Like, ain't nobody crying because they seen Floyd. Oh my God, Floyd, it's you. Nah, you don't get that.
You know what?
Go
That's what I'm saying. You know, Floyd is the type of people to like come up to you and be like, instead of you asking for his autograph, he'll be like, "Hey, y'all want my autograph? What's up with it? Y'all want something?
Hey, you know what?
What y'all want?
You
Y'all
know
want
that
something?"
guy? I think in the Middle East who came down. He goes, "Bro, oh God, I love you so much. You're like a god." I think he was paid. He was definitely
God!
paid.
Yeah,
They paid him.
that shit
Bro, you
looks
really
so.
do some goofy shit like that, man. That's nah.
Bro,
I can't.
Yo,
bro.
Probably he was promised to get
that was
paid.
cringe.
Probably he was promised to get paid.
He said it's Allah number one, and then it's Floyd. I'm like, nah, this is not real.
Oh,
you not
fam,
serious,
fuck.
bro.
He
You not
get beheaded.
serious,
He
bro.
will get beheaded.
You know what, Jules? Guess what? Jules, guess what, fellas? Jules, guess what? That dude who did that, he's gonna be taking Floyd to court soon for not getting his money. How much you want to bet?
No, I mean, look, on some real shit. On some real, and it's not that Floyd wasn't smart when he did this as a boxer. It was smart to fight marquee guys, and it's like Floyd can't get a fair shake because he's hated. That has to be acknowledged. That yeah, he is hated. But did he fight most of the best fighters of his time? Yeah, he did. He did. Was he strategic when he did it?
That's cool.
Yeah, he was. He was. But he was less strategic than these guys. Think about it. People sat around being mad at Floyd over, like Cotto and Guerrero. Like, and I wasn't mad. I thought those was great fights at the time. But look at David Benavidez as his promoter. You want 10 million?
7.
Like, oh no, he
7
said,
is not enough.
Jesus.
It's not enough. Oh, 7 is not enough. We wanted 10. Oh my God.
bro, you can't get.
You know what? All he wants to do is line his pockets. That's it.
You can't get Jermall Charlo in the ring. You can't get Jermall to park his car next to Demetrius Andrade's moped. He won't do it, bro. Like, he won't do it. And y'all go and we supposed to look back and we supposed to be mad at Floyd. Like, nah, Floyd fought good. Like, bro, McDonough had just beat the brakes off of Broner. Who did McDonough fight after that? Floyd. Shane had just beat the fucking dude.
I appreciate Floyd Mayweather. I appreciate him. He's a good boxer. He was amazing, but he's not the greatest ever to do it. No. There has been other fighters who have been 78-0, but then they have lost fights. Like Chavez, how many fights did he lose? And then he was undefeated for 78 fights or something.
But see, this is the thing, Sawab. When you look at the guys that Chavez fought on route, I believe he was 81-0, right? When you look at the guys that he fought, a lot of those guys, like a chunk of those are guys that Floyd could not have fought. It's kind of like when Amanda Serrano fought that Dominican girl, Liana Santana, for the second time. They wouldn't let they wouldn't let Katie get away with fighting somebody like that. They wouldn't let Floyd get away with fighting a lot of those guys that Chavez fought. The main thing is that if you ask me, do I think Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer to ever do it? No. I think Sugar Ray Robinson could have got him. Robinson was a career.
Oh, dude, please.
Robinson was a career not a career welterweight. He started off a welterweight, and he had dimensions that were big enough that he went the middleweight. You see what I mean? Whereas Floyd started down there 30, 35. So you were smaller than that dude.
I don't even think Floyd could go up with Leonard and Hearns, bro. I think them two dudes would do him in. They're
Leonard,
too big, bro, because they were bigger but just as fast and stronger.
This is what I was going to say, that style wise, I think Duran has the style to beat Floyd. Pressure fighter versus pure boxer, that favors the pressure fighter, the one who's going to crowd you, be on the inside, work the body.
Especially when the pressure fighter is a great boxer.
Exactly. So the fact that Leonard lost that fight to Duran because Duran got in his head, that always stood out to me that, yeah, Leonard has the dimensions to hurt Floyd. He's bigger than Floyd, punches harder than Floyd. We know that. But if Floyd gets in his head, I wonder, because Floyd's not going to give him a lot. Though at the same time, we can always ask, who did Floyd fight that was like Leonard? Who?
Hey, we could say Leonard saw the Philly show. Look what happened to Tawks.
That's what I'm saying. Leonard has seen
greater fighters, if anything. If you really want to be honest, like Duran had. I mean, nah, Floyd. I'll say maybe Duran. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it's no easy answer to that. But if somebody tells me time machine, because this is a hypothetical scenario anyway, time machine, Leonard versus Mayweather. If somebody tells me Leonard, no, I'm not gonna blow a fucking gasket. I could see Floyd losing that fight. Bro, it wasn't you ain't bro. You ain't fighting nobody like no motherfucking Sugar Ray Leonard. Like I'm talking about the characteristics that Leonard had, that he was fast, he was strong, he was big, he could box. You like not all that, bro. Not all that. Like Manny had speed and he could punch. But he was a naturally smaller guy. He was the naturally smaller guy.
And even when they fought, I don't even think Manny was like as close as fast to Leonard in his prime, if we're really being honest.
The shit is Leonard, when you have that kind of speed and you're long, because Leonard was naturally
you generate a lot of power from it because you're extending your arms, especially.
And you don't need to be within striking distance to get off straight shots because you're long. You don't need to be all in his chest like Manny. Like Manny need to be in a guy's chest because he's smaller than a guy. Leonard has bigger dimensions than Floyd. I think Leonard was about 5'10" or something, like 5'10" around there. Floyd ain't but fucking 5'6", I think 5'7" or some shit like that. They got him at 5'8", but come on, B, that dude is not. He ain't 5'8",
like
bro.
5'6".
Yeah, like
6, bro.
Dude ain't 5'8", but they're like Canelo.
One of my favorite matchups of all time is Chavez Duran or like Chavez Pacquiao.
Man, listen, I it's hard to go against Duran in those kinds of matchups. It's just hard to go against Duran. But either way, those would be. We all know those would be classic fights if it were possible. But it's obvious it's not possible. Like one fight that I think would be like people would die watching the fight because of how good the fight is. Like people would literally die in the audience. Their heads would explode. Is Mike Tyson versus Joe Frazier. People would die. They fucking die, bro. They would die. Like motherfuckers would be sitting there die like, heads explode, bro. Like forget Tyson Foreman or Tyson Ali. A stylistic World War III would be Tyson versus Joe Frazier. Pressure fighter versus
that'd be beautiful. Mike Tyson versus Sonny Liston.
I feel I'm gonna be honest with you, Sawab. I think Tyson would get him. I think Tyson would get him because
I think Frazier can get Tyson. Late, mid rounds to late. Do you trust George to break out of the storm?
Joe Frazier is a different animal,
the storm is the question.
If there's no 3 knockdown rule, I'm with you. If there's a 3 knockdown rule, I can see Mike knocking him down 3 times in the same round. I can see early. I can see that. So it's a lot of little shit, man. I'm just being real. It's a lot. But
the golden era was a different level, bro. 15 rounds. Whoa.
I'm just being real. Listen. It wasn't and Tyson was tippy tapping. Nah,
not Tyson. I'm just saying. Tyson Fury, he wouldn't survive in that.
I thought you were talking about Mike Tyson. I was
like, no. Tyson Fury.
Nah,
Anthony Joshua. These lot, I don't think they would be there, bro. They would get smoked,
bro. All that herky jerky shit. All that. To me, his best display of boxing is also one of the most awful heavyweight fights I've ever seen. And that's the Klitschko fight. Like, bro, them guys back there in the 70s and the 60s, they not gonna play with you. They not gonna play with
Muhammad
you.
Ali and there, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, George Foreman, put them all in there. Every single one I get smoked. Dillian White, AJ Wilder, Usyk, they're getting smoked by
Listen,
that era.
AJ trying to fence with Mike Tyson.
the Jimmy Young, the Burt Cooper, them like with Tyson, and forget Ali. In other
Razor
words,
Reddick.
forget
Razor
listed.
Reddick.
Them guys like, and I can. And why do I say that, bro? You got a gift against McDermott. Let's be honest. You got dropped by Cunningham. If Cunningham could drop you, you don't think of Ernie Shavers
Bro,
could get you?
he-
You don't think
he got
Ernie
dropped.
Shavers could get you?
Everybody calls him this defensive wizard, but he got dropped by the same punch 4 fucking times by the worst punch, like one of the worst actual punch throwers. He had a good right hand, but one of the worst like punch variety guys in heavyweight history in Wilder.
Jules,
He got hit by
if
the
I'm not
same
wrong,
punch 4 times. He
Lewis,
got dropped.
what's his name? Lewis.
Can you imagine fucking Ernie Shavers versus Tyson?
Now imagine if Ernie hit Tyson with the punch he hit Larry with. He's not gonna get up, Jim.
Oh my God.
He's not gonna get
Oh my
up,
God.
Jim. You're not gonna get up, B. Like, come on, like, let's cut the shit. Like, you got dropped by Pajcik, you got dropped by Cunningham, you got dropped 4 times by Wilder. If Ernie land on you, bro, you're not gonna get up, bro. I don't give a shit with nobody. He wouldn't get up from that, bro. No, he would not. No, he wouldn't. Fuck out of here, B. Fuck out of here.
Jules, I was asking. I forgot the guy. Lewis. He says he's British, but he's a Canadian and Jamaican. I forgot his name. I'm so bad with names.
Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis. How do you think he would do? I think he would beat AJ. He would beat Fury. He would beat Usyk. Even those at that era.
I'll say the Lennox. It depends on which Lewis. Pre-Stewart Lewis. I think AJ could get him. Pre-Stewart Lewis. Post-Stewart Lewis. No, Lewis knocks him out.
The
He was
best
more match-
version of Lewis.
He was
the
the best. All right, the best version of Lewis, I think, knocks out the best version of AJ that I've seen so far. The best version of AJ I've seen so far is the Klitschko AJ and the Parker AJ and the Povetkin AJ. That's the best AJ I've seen, technically and tactically. And I think Emmanuel Stewart Lewis, he knocks him out. The thing is, nobody should get married to the idea, or nobody should blow a gasket, because at the same time, you have to remember, Lewis was knocked out by Rahman. So ask yourself a question. If AJ lands on Lewis, how Rahman landed on Lewis, he don't knock him out? Come on. I say
but
60,
that
40
Anthony
Lewis.
Joshua that was in the Ruiz Think 2 fight. You're telling me Lewis wouldn't smoke him?
Well, that's the thing. That's the worst version of Anthony Joshua. Now, if I
the
bring up
second fight of Ruiz, no, come on.
Oh, the second. Oh no! All right. The
Second fight.
All right. If we're gonna use the worst version of AJ, why do we have to use the best version of Lewis?
No, not the worst. Tell me the best of AJ and the best of Lewis.
That's what I'm saying. The best AJ, the best Lewis. Okay. Emmanuel Stewart Lewis, right? That's the Lewis that Rahman knocked out. Forget McCall. Forget that. That's way back there. He got touched, bro, and he got taken out. Rahman, he got big hands. I ain't gonna front, but he not as big a guy as AJ. I'll say I would look at that 60-40 Lewis. 60-40 Lewis. I would favor Lewis, but if somebody tell me, nah, I can see AJ knock him out, I ain't gonna argue with you. Why? Because he did get knocked out by Rahman. He did though.
Yeah.
Billy, you lost all credibility when you ain't clicked the link, bro. I was watching Lewis get knocked out while you was still in your daddy nutsack. The fuck are you talking about? I seen the McCall fight.
He's still here. I thought he's at work.
That's what Why you think I said
chat?
that? Why you think I said he's not at work? You can't be at work and you've been sitting. Look at the comments, bro. It's like 5 comments from him, B.
Back to back. What the fuck?
Like I said, I would look at it 60-40. Lewis gets the edge. But if somebody told me, nah, I could see AJ knocking him out based on the Rahman fight, I'll understand. I would understand. Like, yeah, I get it. He got caught with a regular shot, bro. It wasn't no fairy tale punch, but he got caught. So if the idea is, oh, Lennox can't be caught, bro, he been caught before. What are you talking about? You could favor Lewis to win the fight the same way I look at Better Beef and Smith. You got to give Better Beef the edge. He's a better pressure fighter than Smith. But If Smith lands how Johnson landed, oh yeah, he could potentially take him out. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. You have to favor better beef, but you can't count out Smith. You can't count him out. He done pulled the upset 4 times, bro. 4 times. Some motherfuckers go their whole career and never pull an upset. He did that 4 times.
Jules, the problem is with this generation, all the fights that we have seen been 90-10 fights, 90-20 fights. I'm sorry, 80-20 fights. By meaning we know the A side is always going to beat the B side.
Yeah.
Fury versus Wallen, Fury versus Tom Schwartz, Fury versus everyone else. You know what I mean? Just Fury against Wilder, maybe it was a 60-40.
Let me address this. I didn't ask you if he avenged the losses. You see what I mean? This is the stupid, goofy shit. This is the shit I'm talking about. I said don't act like he can't be caught because he's been caught. I ain't talking about the rematches. I already know he had rematches. But if we're gonna talk about the rematches, hey, when did he fight Oliver McCall the second time? Was it immediately after the first fight, or was it like 3 years and 6 fights later? You want to believe that certain motherfuckers is invincible. Ain't nobody invincible in boxing. If you stick around long enough, somebody gonna get you. It's only a handful.
Put Fury with Lewis. What's gonna happen? He's gonna get touched. He's gonna get smoked.
He's gonna get fucking knocked out.
Put him in with Sonny Liston. Put him in with Mike Tyson. Put him in with the greatest fighters in the golden era.
Like I said,
I was saying the B class boxers at that time would fucking smoke Fury.
Ray Mercer would smoke Fury. I'm not playing either. Ray Mercer would smoke him. The Ray Mercer that fought Lennox Lewis, he would smoke Tyson Fury. Yeah.
What was that fighter's name that beat Mike Tyson? The first one.
Buster Douglas.
Buster Douglas will smoke fucking Tyson Fury. Douglas will smoke Fury.
Let me say this. I already said I favor Lewis to win the fight, and he's still mad because I'm entertaining the possibility that he could get knocked out, even though he has been knocked out before. What's the problem? I favor Lewis to win the fight, but I seen him caught by a lesser fighter. Hasim Rahman didn't have the career accolades that Anthony Joshua has now. He don't have those career accolades. So you got to stop thinking, oh, yeah, this guy's invincible, and this guy just like, nah, it don't work like that, bro. Lewis been caught before.
I love Anthony Joshua. I'm a big fan of his, but the golden era is the golden era for a reason. I don't think any of these fighters right now can beat anyone in the golden era. The top 10 of this golden era cannot touch the top 10 of the golden era.
They had you know what this shit was? All them guys, every single one of them, every single one of those guys, even the B class and the C class, everybody there, they had dog in them. All of them, every single one of them. Evander, Riddick Bowe, Razor Ruddock, Ray Mercer, Burt Cooper, Mike Tyson, like everybody had
15-round fights. Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, they went for 30 rounds. Brother, come on.
It's like, and I've talked about this, the Joe Louis Billy Conn fight, right? In today's era, Billy Conn would have won that fight because it would have only gone 12 rounds. And going in the 13th round, Billy Conn was up on the cards. And I think it was in the 13th round that he got knocked out by Joe Louis. In this era, Billy Conn would have been a heavyweight champion off of speed and combinations. But like Sawab is saying, in the old era, that motherfuckers was fighting in 15 rounders, B. It ain't over yet, yo. Joe Louis knocked his ass out, man. I think it was in the 13th round. This era it's not that era. I'm gonna say it's not that era. You gotta be a bad motherfucker in that era, man. Bad motherfucker.
I got too much respect for the people in the golden era, Jules. So that's why I can't disrespect them the way the current boxers are disrespecting that era.
Well, they want to be like immortal, like those guys, without doing the immortal shit. Because look at all the shit we had to go through. We still going through with Dillian White and Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? And that's It's a great fight, you know what I mean? But we should have to go through all this, bro. You know what I mean? Like we got to go through all this shit just to get y'all in the ring. His side, and he said, and WBC, and the arbitrator, and the confectioner sugar,
So,
and rotate
did
the
we go through?
tires.
Did we go through all these fights in the golden era? Joe Frazier, Sonny
Bruh,
Liston, George Foreman.
The motherfuckers just fought, bro. Like I said, when I was young, and I'm not talking about when I was just a baby. Even in the 90s and the early 2000s, yo, shit did not take that long, bro, to do a fucking fight, let alone a big fight where we all know it's money and we know it didn't take long to do a big fight. Now, regular ass fights take long, bro. Regular ass fights take long. Look at Samson Lukowicz. Over $7 million. Let me tell you something, B. Let me tell you something. Jose Ramirez went to the zone as a champion, and he only got $4 million. And Jose Ramirez sold 14,000 tickets in Southern California, right? And he went over there with a belt. You ain't even got a belt. Why the fuck do you need close to 10 million? Like, you ain't no $10 million fighter. Fuck out of here.
It's the
They might
sad
have a mic
state in
issues. Can y'all hear
boxing.
me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's a sad state in boxing. Like you said, you have to beg for Andrade versus Benavidez. You have to beg for Charlo versus Andrade. Back in the days, it didn't used to happen like that. If the
We don't get
fighters
no
want the fight,
50-50s.
it
We don't
happened.
get no 50-50s no more, man. That's it. Those days are over.
That's what I said. I said back, I think this generation, they don't know. They don't know. We have only seen 90-10s, 80-20s. We have not seen any 50-50 fights.
That's right.
Well, we'd be happy to see 60-40 fights.
Nah, I'm gonna say, look, because I'm gonna give credit to the guys that do it, that is doing the 50-50s. You got to give Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis credit. That was a true blue
Yes.
50-50 fight. That was a true blue.
I did not know who to pick for that one. I did not know. I seriously did not know who was going to win that fight.
You gotta give.
But
You
the
gotta
thing is
give.
just-
Hold on. Wait. Let me bring up the 50-50s because there's been a few in the last 10 years. Usyk versus Garcia might not have played out like a 50-50 fight, but I didn't forget going into the fight that was viewed as a 50-50 fight because Garcia had just beat the fucking shit out of Dortico. He knocked him the fuck out, B. Bad. All right. Going into that fight, that was a 50-50 fight.
You're both unified, both undefeated.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 fight.
Yo, guys.
Go ahead,
see
Box.
something. You see all the fights that you're about to mention. Any fight you're about to mention, that's a 50-50 fight. Any of these fighters, they are not considered the basic premier fighters in boxing. They're all going to be guys that are under the radar, that only the true boxing fan knows. If you talk about anybody that has any type of name or any type of notoriety, apart from the likes of, let's say, Canelo and AJ, in my opinion, and Dylan White, they ain't having no 50-50 fights. They ain't having no 60-40 fights. They ain't even having 70-30 fights, bro. Like, at the end of the day, let's just put the welterweight division on blast right now. Come on, bro. Nobody wants to fight each other. Nobody. You're talking about Furman coming off of a loss, talking about he wants 10 million. People don't remember that before he even fought Crawford, before he even fought Pacquiao, and they were talking about Crawford, he said he didn't want that fight. He blatantly actually said in the interview from his own mouth that he didn't want that fight. And then when it did come to the point where he was going to have that fight, he wanted 10 million after losing a fight. How can you come off a loss and then want 10 million? I really want to know what these pay-per-view numbers are for this fight with Barrios. I really want to know, which you're never going to hear.
No.
Never going to come out.
I got you.
Go on, talk to me.
I got you. Motherfucking Rick's number confirms Keith Idek's number. A few days ago, Keith Idek said that the numbers that he heard for Thurman versus Barrios were less than half what Crawford versus Porter did. Crawford versus Porter did about 130,000. That's the smallest number that's out there. Keith Idek said about 3 or 4 days ago, he heard the number that he's hearing is less than half that number. Coincidentally, Rick Glacier, via his sources, said it did just a little under 40,000 buys.
To be fair, those were the numbers I was thinking. I actually thought those numbers. And this is why, sorry, to just to quickly jump onto this subject. This is why I'm telling you that Tyson Fury versus Dylan White is not going to do over $1 million, in my opinion. You have to understand, BT Sport is not. It doesn't really host them big pay-per-views. Only Sky does them pay-per-views that can get over $1 million because they're bigger. It's a bigger, more well-known, longer. It's been about longer, and it's got a bigger base of subscribers to Sky. But BT Sport is relatively new in that sense, and they have never cracked any big numbers on pay-per-view. I don't even know. I can't even tell you the last pay-per-view that they done. So for them to just come out of the woodwork all of a sudden and do over $1 million buys, they need Dylan White on that promotional tour. They need him. Yeah. Fury and Bob and Frank doing the promotional tour for that is not going to bring in over $1 million buys, in my opinion.
Well, I'll say this. Without Dillion's help, I agree with you. If they can't get Dillion to sit down and do a sit down like a gloves are off kind of thing, you know, the way we're seeing with Khan and Brooke, if he doesn't aid them in the promotion, then it might not do $1 million. Because I've been saying, you know, the bad blood between them and the vitriol and the potential back and forth, that will capture people's imaginations. But if Dillion doesn't do it, then I don't know what is going. If he stay quiet the whole time,
Pete, and to go back to the original convo, Thurman, you're telling me you want 10 million and you can't even do 100,000 pay-per-view guys, but you want $10 million to fight my champion, to fight a champion in the welterweight division, and you can't even do 100 pay-per-view buys, bro. Come on, you're ridiculous.
I gotta say this,
40K, 30K.
I gotta say this to Troy. Troy, Blair Cobbs beats Oscar De La Hoya. I don't want to argue about this, okay? Blair the Flair Cobbs, all right? He beats Oscar De La Hoya, Troy, and I'm not going to argue with you about that shit.
Hey, Blair should go over there to PBC and fight Keith. That would be a nice fight. Blair Cobbs and Keith Thurman.
Yeah, why not? That sounds good.
Go ahead, Troy. Go ahead, Troy.
Who the hell is that you just named?
Blair the Flair Cobbs, Troy.
Trey, you don't know about Blair the Flair?
No. You know, does he fight on a video game or, you know, what does he
No, I swear he was with Top Rank and he's now with Golden Boy or something like that.
Look, I know why Troy is here. Troy coming for me. He coming for the blood. Yes, I think Lennox probably more than likely he would have knocked out Anthony Joshua in a time machine.
Here we go.
No. I know why he's here, because we grew up in that era, and it's like, yeah, dog. Like if you put them
I grew up in that era as well. Got my guy.
But
the first fight I physically watched beside my dad was Hagler versus Hearns. That was my introduction into boxing.
All right, then if you put them in a time machine, if you get the very best version of Lennox Lewis, which is the Emmanuel Stewart version, you have to give him the edge over the best version of Anthony Joshua, which I would say is maybe Klitschko Joshua, Parker Joshua, or Povetkin Joshua. That's the best version of him we've seen. And yeah, you have to give the edge to Lewis. But I'm saying don't act like Lewis can't be caught, because he has been caught. He got caught by motherfucking Rahman.
Hold on. Did you say Parker Joshua was one of his best versions of Joshua?
At that time frame, because that was on the heels. That was on the heels of the Klitschko victory, and in between the Povetkin fight. After Povetkin, that's when he had the Ruiz fight. So I'm saying, if you're talking about the Joshua between the Klitschko fight and the Povetkin fight, who also fought Parker in between, that would probably be the best version of Anthony Joshua. The one in between those fights. Now, if you're talking about Lewis, okay, we're talking about post Emmanuel Stewart Lewis, not Oliver McCall Lewis. This would have to be after that. Well, after that,
Hasim Rahmat Lewis.
But now you see the point that I'm making. That even Emmanuel Stewart Lewis wasn't untouchable. Like, a lot of people thought Ray Mercer beat him. I remember, bro.
I thought Ray Mercer won that fight personally. I think he got a bit robbed in that fight personally. My opinion.
So that fight right there showed me that Lewis has a chin in the Mercer fight, because he took hellacious shots.
Yeah, I remember back here in the States, a lot of people were saying that Lewis doesn't have a chin because of the McCall and the Rahman fights. And you see how those comments have aged. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like those are only two guys that got him. Other than that, nobody else got him. And he fought.
He just got caught with punches he didn't see. That was all that was.
Yeah, like he only lost the two dudes, and those is two dudes that he ended up beating. So it's like not. And they said that about Vladimir. I remember all of that. They used to say that about Vladimir, and I'm like, yeah, he got knocked out by Corey Saunders, but look at what happened after that, though. Motherfucker reigned for
10 year stretch.
Yeah.
Was it 10 or 20-year stretch? I can't remember how long.
No, it was close 10 years. It was close to 10 years. It was like 9.5. And he was fighting everybody. He fought everybody that was there. Pulev, Chaigev, Povetkin. He fought everybody that was there.
I mean, did y'all know?
Can I ask the question? When it comes to boxing,
I'm gonna jump in behind you.
I really want to build my knowledge when it comes to boxing. So I really want to know, say, Lewis versus Klitschko. How does that fight go? The best of the best.
They had that fight. Lewis and Klitschko.
No. He's not talking about Vitaly. He's not talking about Vitaly. He's talking about Vladimir. He's talking about Vladimir
Klitschko.
And that
Lewis division for 10 years.
No. They never fought. I would favor Lewis in that fight. If we're talking about Emmanuel Stewart Klitschko and Emmanuel Stewart Lewis, I would favor Lewis. I would
favor Lewis.
I would not the jab clinch. I don't think that would have worked on him. I don't think it would have worked.
No.
That's all Klitschko had. Jab, hold, hug, kiss.
No, he had a decent. He had no. He had a decent left hook too. He had this. He would do this little shuffle right before he threw. It was a tell. I don't know how he caught so many guys with this left hook.
What are we talking about now, Julius? You know, we talking about Lewis. Or we talking about Klitschko?
No, we talking about Klitschko. He had this little shuffle that he would do before he throws the lead hook. He did it to Pulev when he knocked him down. He would do like a little shuffle, like a little two-step or some shit, and then he'd throw the lead left hook. So he had more than just a jab clinch. Yeah, like, and he had a good right hand. Like he had 53 fucking knockouts, for God's sake.
Right. But you know what, Julius? I really wasn't even concerned with Lewis and Joshua. But let me give you a quick breakdown. Joshua is a combination of two things at this point in his career. He has Leonard Lewis type skills, but he has, Alex Stewart type of mentality. Remember Alex Stewart? Anthony? Yeah, he could be taken off his game and be shaking and just,
I think
if you hit him hard enough, and if you pressure him hard enough, he gets a little bit out of whack, right?
What happened to Lewis, believe it or not, if you look at what happened to Lewis, sort of how I look at what happened to Klitschko with Corey Saunders and Armstrong, Henry Armstrong, way back when. They suffered losses at a time when they weren't expected to suffer losses, and that ended up making them better. If you think about it, like AJ suffered a loss. It's like, yeah, we wasn't expecting him to suffer it, but I don't know if it made him better. I thought it made him better. Then I saw the Usyk fight.
It didn't make him better. It didn't make him better because in that fight with Andy, he was struggling. He wanted to knock his ass out, but they told him to box. Look at how he came out. The very first punch was what? A lead right to his face, right?
It was.
And
he landed hard too.
He really wanted to knock his ass out, but they kept telling him box. He wanted to knock him out. He wanted to just take him out. As opposed to Dillian White when he fought Derek the second time, they told him to be patient because he had him out in the second round, and he could have took him out in the second round. And as soon as he saw opening, he took him out, right?
Let me say this about Dillian. That's what I like about Dillian.
He has a different type of mentality.
He got dogged because in spite of him getting smoked by Pavett and the way he got smoked, like he got stone cold slapped, right? He come out the second fight, he's still throwing back. He's still throwing for the fences, but like he trying to kill this man. That's why I like, because it's like, he didn't get gunshot because of the knockout. He's still coming out like, nah, I'm still trying to knock you out, bro. Same as before. I'm still trying to knock you out. Ain't shit changed.
It's like he picked up where he left off from the first fight.
Yeah. And to say that, this is why I say that I think Dillian White would have had a bit of joy in the golden era because he's got dog in him. The thing about AJ is that in the ring, as a boxer, he's not his own man. He hasn't got his own thought process per se. basically doing what he's told him from the corner and stuff. Sometimes you just have to take it by the scruff of the neck, take the fight by it's in your own hands. Like say my Donny Terence Crawford. Do you think he could, like Floyd in his prime, like by the time he was his own man, he didn't really need anybody in his corner because he had it all figured out. He was a man that could change in the process of the round and stuff like that. Go on.
Troy not going like this. Troy out of everybody on this panel not going like this. But I gotta say it. Floyd had dog in him.
Yes, he did. He did.
To fight the Cotto that he fought, because Cotto was getting in his shit. He had dog in him. To stay in the pocket. To stay in the pocket with Canelo. He didn't do that Lara shit. And I always he didn't do that Lara. I'ma just box on the outside of me.
Floyd,
he was in the pocket with him.
Cotto. Floyd fought Cotto first.
Yeah.
Before Canelo.
Yeah.
And people are not seeing that because Floyd has haters, which I understand, but we have to give him where credit is due.
He got haters though. He do got haters. Let me read the super chat. Carlos Monzon, and I'll pass to you. Carlos Monzon, Carlos Zarate, Jose Napole, Aaron Pryor, Leonard Duran, Ricardo Lopez retired undefeated. That's right. Salvador Sanchez. I am 70 and have seen them all live, and those were the days. Wilfredo Gomez versus Lupe Pintor. Yeah, bro. I don't think a lot of these guys, and I've said this in passing as a joke. Could you imagine Keith Thurman in the De La Hoya versus Trinidad?
No, absolutely not.
I could imagine it. Yeah, I could imagine it, but he wouldn't last long.
Yeah, could you imagine Danny Garcia in the Leonard Duran era? Like, nah.
I could imagine.
You know what he do? He paid them to step aside. That's what he do.
Bro, he gets stepped on and put aside is what would happen. He gets stepped on.
He would be a tough out. No, but no, Julius. You know who he would be? You know Doug DeWitt. Remember Doug DeWitt back in the day? Tough guy.
I don't listen. I'm gonna be real with you, Troy. I don't think he has proven that he is that tough guy because I firmly believe you give me the undefeated Danny Garcia that Keith Thurman fought in 2016. Crawford would knock that Danny Garcia out.
He needs to get away from his daddy. Seriously,
it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, that's true because he tunes him out in the ring. He literally tunes him out. He doesn't listen to him.
Yeah, like it's too late for him. But I'm gonna say that the very best version of Danny Garcia that I've ever seen, which would have to be the Lucas Matisse Danny Garcia, the Amir Khan Danny Garcia, which is really the 140 Garcia, not even the 47 Garcia. Crawford still beats that guy. What the fuck are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? Like that? Like he was never like, get out of here, bro. Like, all right.
Crawford beats all of them, actually. He beats all of them.
All of them.
Yeah. No, but Jules, I mean, like, just one quick comment I want to add about Dillian right quick. Like, y'all remember the movie Casino? That monologue line from Robert De Niro, how he said, like, you know, you could stab Nicky, you could shoot him 1,000 times. It's kind of like Dillian. It's like I feel you can like knock him out like 10, 50, 100 times. He's always going to come back for more and not care.
Yeah. Like that's the main thing that a lot of guys would have got knocked out because Dillian is a puncher. A lot of guys would have got knocked out how he got knocked out, and they wouldn't have been the same after that. But you saw in the second Povetkin fight, he was still throwing with bad intentions. Like, nah, I'm still trying to take your head off.
He almost got Povetkin out of there in the first round.
Yeah, that's why you got to give him credit for that. But you know, everybody, it's the same shit as Mayweather Maidana. They act like the second fight didn't happen. They look same shit with Castillo. They act like the second fight didn't happen. Everybody talk about the first fight. Nobody talk about the second. It is what it is. It's predictable.
He didn't have to rematch those guys, but he did.
Yeah, it's predictable at this point. It's like that's why I'm like I don't spend a lot of time on it. Fantasy fights and I'm with Sawab on this. That like most of these guys. I don't think a lot of these guys would make it in that 15-round era. I don't like. Nah,
Leonard would TKO.
They beat Floyd
in the mid rounds, and somewhere in the 9th round, he would TKO Floyd.
The main thing with me is that when it comes to Leonard and Floyd, when I think about that fight, is that Leonard wasn't just fast; he was big. For welterweight, he was big, whereas Floyd was never a real welterweight. Most people don't most people have that conversation and they don't realize that. They're like, yo, Floyd wasn't a real welterweight, and neither was Manny. And they dominated the previous era's welterweight division. You could argue that that's how weak it was, that those guys could dominate it. The other put the shoe on the other foot. Maybe it's just that they were that good. But what I noticed is the welterweights of old were bigger. Felix Trinidad was bigger than most welterweights that are here now. Oscar De La Hoya, even though he wasn't a career welterweight, his dimensions, he was bigger than most welterweights. Motherfucking Mark Breland, wasn't he a welterweight?
He was. Yep.
6 foot something. Yeah.
6
What about-
foot
yeah,
two.
yeah,
welterweight.
Now, imagine Mark Breland with these guys, bruh.
No.
Bruh.
What
There'll
about
be a lot of people sleeping, bro.
Here's somebody that's really underrated. What about Ike Corte?
Bruh.
Come on now.
So I'm like, it's like this era, and I don't want to be that old guy. I don't want to be the Joe Budden of boxing. But if you saw them fights, man, and you seen the type of just the aesthetic of those fights, that's not what's going on here now, bro. Like Thurman.
Jules. That's what I've been saying. You cannot compare the golden era to this era.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it,
Bud would. I think Bud would have had a bit of Dre in the golden era. I think he would have had fun.
Bud, yes, Bud.
Yeah,
and who else?
Put him in a time machine and pluck him there. He'll do fine, I think.
Bud,
he'll be all right.
Right, because he started as a street fighter who was taught how to box. It's not vice versa. He was fighting already in the street, and he was real good. And somebody saw that, and they just refined him. That's all they did.
Like Bud, yeah, but nobody else. Not Thurman, not Porter, definitely not Keith. Like, bro, you got glass body, bro. Motherfucker.
Having one is you can't. That's an exception. An exception is not the majority. That's it.
Matter of fact,
no.
I would like Keith to
Minority,
go in there with
yes.
Bud. Yeah, I would like Keith to go in there with Bud and get hit with a body shot. See if you make it out of the round, Keith. Go ahead.
The fight that I would want to see most in the time machine is Keith Thurman versus the Duran that Leonard fought at welter.
Oh God,
you're just not nice. You're not nice. Why are you being like that to Thurman? Poor Thurman. Don't do that to poor Thurman.
Jules, Keith would get killed. He'd get killed.
Keith would get killed by lightweight Duran, by the lightweight 135 Duran.
Now you could take the Aaron Pryor of old, the 140-pound version of Aaron Pryor. You could put him in this era and he can hang. He can hang.
Oh yeah, I believe he could.
He can hang. But can we say the same for the guys that are here to put them back there? All of them? I don't know about all that.
But, I mean, one thing that nobody understands, that these guys, they were having wars back then, man.
Yeah.
Wars. It's just unbelievable wars.
Like, I would love to
rematches.
I've said this before. Ryan Garcia versus Roberto Duran in a time machine makes sense.
Jesus.
It makes sense.
You know what Ryan would do? He would start crying as soon as he called Roberto and call his daddy. That's what he'd do.
Roberto Duran, Teofimo Lopez in a time machine. Fucking 16 by 16 ring. It's not even no room for elbows. It's not enough room for you to stretch your arms out. So that's so funny.
I need to see Boots get tested. I need to see Ennis Boots get that test.
You know, for you,
and Virgil as well. Well, Virgil,
fellas, I got a hot take right quick. Listen to this. All right, so I'm associated with somebody in a boxing group. He's associated with Custio Clayton. He thinks that Clayton's going to beat Boots if they fight.
There's a chance.
This is what needs to. We need to see it. We need to see it.
He's swearing up and down on it. He thinks Custio Clayton's going to beat Boots when they fight.
The thing is that Custio not, because the thing is, look, Custio's a good pure boxer, and I ain't seen Ennis with no pure boxer. A dude that could stick and move and stay on the outside, and I ain't seen, bro. I haven't seen, to my knowledge, Ennis hasn't fought Ray Robinson yet, right? You know Ray Robinson, the spoiler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's
a pure boxer as well.
Yeah, Machine and Josh Kelly drew with them.
He's a pure boxer, and that would be his kryptonite. To be fair, Custio Clayton could be his kryptonite, but it's about the levels. If he's a pure boxer, but is he at the level where he can beat Ennis Boots? I need to see it because I don't know what level Boots is at.
Also, this box watch, to me, they already robbed Custio. He beat Lipinets, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he got hard done by. He really did.
What
this is the
Sergey
thing about
Lipinets
boxing.
fight you ever seen that looked like bro? He beat him, dog. Like, what are y'all doing?
And this is the thing. It's because Lipinets had more of a name. It's just technical. It's the stupidity. In my opinion, it's because he had more of a name, and that's the stupidity. And the this is what's going on now in this day and age is boxing. Do you understand?
I mean,
If you've gone behind you,
could it
if
be
you've got
argued
the
that?
people,
Sorry, go ahead.
go on. Sorry, go on. You carry on.
I don't know, my bad. I was just gonna say, like, could it be argued that Ray Robinson beat Josh Kelly in Mean Machine?
Yeah. Look, I saw the Mean Machine fight, and the Mean Machine fight, that really is a fight where you have to say it depends on what you like. Ray is moving, and Mean Machine can't stop him from moving. But while he's moving, he's not really getting off a lot of shots. So you could award his feet, or you could award Mean Machine's aggression for making him move. Now with Kelly, I do believe I believe, like, yeah, you could say he beat Kelly. You could say that. But with Mean Machine, I don't know.
Ray Robinson beat Kelly.
In my
opinion, I agree with that. And this is the thing about it as well. It's all about having the platform behind you.
Yeah.
Who did Ray Robinson? Who did Ray have behind him?
No, nobody.
At that time, what's his name was with Sky, with Bob, with Eddie.
With Eddie.
He was with Eddie at that point. Do you understand? He had the thing behind him. They tried to move him along. It was a close fight, which I believe he lost, and then it went the other way. It's the same thing with
Clayton and Lipinets.
Clayton and Lipinets.
Now I'm gonna say, for Ennis's credit, if he knocks Castillo out, yeah, I'm gonna be impressed, bro. If he knocks
rice. Now we're cooking with rice. Do you understand? Now we're cooking in gas. Now we can talk about him. Right now, it's all a bit of. All right. So the other day, Porter said he's a hype job. Now, obviously, it was a bit of clickbait, but I believe what he's. I mean, obviously, he's retired and he's not going to fight him now. But he didn't want the smoke when he was there. But I can understand where he's coming from. He's done all he needs to do. Porter don't need to prove nothing to nobody, in my opinion.
I agree with that. I agree with
having that fight with trying to get pushed onto Boots, he didn't need to take that. But he can say, and when he says he's a hype job, I agree to an extent. He hasn't shown me anything.
What he said, because a hype job, he said that he's overrated.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that was going to go verbatim.
Hype job. Like I look at hype job as being worse than saying he's overrated. You can still be very good.
Yeah, the wrong choice of word from myself there. You
can still be very good and be overrated, and maybe that's what Boots is, because, and I'm with Box Watch on this. I haven't fucking seen anything to be all. Oh my god!
Jules, Box Watch. You know what it is? Oh, just right quick. Shout out to my homeboy Sam. He loves you and the channels, Jules. By the way, just want to give you a shout out. Anyway, I mean, on Twitter, like, shout out to Boxing JB. He said that, like, Boots isn't underrated. He's just unproven. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much. That's all.
But
all right, he's unproven, but he's getting the ratings of someone who's proven. So that makes him overrated.
Can I say my piece? Look, tomato. Same shit. Underrated, overrated, same shit. He has. The matter of fact is, he has not fought anyone in order for us to say that he's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. I rate him. I think he can beat majority of the fighters, but he has not had any fights yet. Until he doesn't have a fight, we don't know. So please, let's not make him the third rounder. He's 30-0. 30-0, am I right?
No, I mean, look. Let me say this: the way it's going, right? Boots has close to 30 fights. Wilder was 32-0 going into the Stavern fight. He was 32-0, 7 years as a professional. Boots right now, I believe he debuted. He did
2016, going on 6 years. Going on 6 years, he's been.
And he's got like 28 fights right now, 28 or 29. So it's like, yo, like you haven't fought, like you really ain't fought shit yet. So it's getting to that point to where you need to fight someone. The good thing is that he is going to fight. It looks like he's going to fight Castillo Clayton. Y'all know how I feel about it. That's a great fight. I love that fight. So we're going to find out shortly. If he fights him, we'll find out how good he is or how good he ain't. Because Castillo ain't going to stand in front of you like no low ass Sergey Lipinets. He's going to make you work for it. He's a fucking Olympian, that guy. He ain't no slouch. So that's a good fight.
Costello could be his kryptonite. It could be his
Maybe.
kryptonite.
Could
He's a
be.
pure boxer, bruv. He has good. You get me? Pure boxers, in my experience, has good resumes against boxer punchers.
They do.
In my
And that's what
experience,
Boots is. And
what I've
that's
seen.
That's
Boots
what
is a
Boots
boxer
is.
puncher. Yeah.
Now, fellas,
It's-
let me ask this right quick. Sorry, just right quick. Now, do we rate Virgil Ortiz above Boots? And they around the same level? You think?
now
should we rate
Virgil is a
Virgil
pressure
above?
fighter.
Not until one beats the other one.
The thing is, look. The thing is, you can give Virgil that he has the better resume in far less fights. You can give him that, but
He
if you start talking about a fight, that's something else. And Virgil's style is not hard to understand. It's a question of how much he gets, because he gets hit. We saw that in the Mighty Mo Hooker fight. He
He got touched up.
So you got to ask yourself, if you get hit like that by a Boots, what happens? Now, I'm not going to give you no answer because I don't know. What I do know is Virgil has a way better resume in less fights. That's all I know. That's it.
We don't know if Boots' power is actually the truth, though, because who has he been knocking out?
Fucking Thomas Delorme.
Delorme, man.
Yay.
Come on. Like, we don't know. And that's probably the biggest name on his resume.
Bruh.
He didn't even get to go the distance. He didn't even get to have a proper. He didn't get to have a proper fight with what's that guy's name?
Van Heerden.
Van Heerden. Yeah,
Heerden.
that shit ended
He
in
didn't
one round.
even have to get a proper fight, which would have been a better fight than any of his other fights, in my opinion. Carl Van Heerden, he's been there, done it. If in a sense,
And he's
you know what I mean?
and he's he's a southpaw. He fought a lot of guys, but
Exactly.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna just say that because of the abundance of fights that Boots has, that's why there's a growing demand. See, Virgil ain't coming up on 30 fights right now. I think he's coming up on 20, or he's
20.
at 20.
He's about 20. He's about 20.
Whereas Boots got like, you got damn near 30 fights, bro. It's
Do you know the comparison? Do you know what the comparison is about with that? Slightly, ever so slightly. The comparison is like Boots is on the Wilder trajectory, and Virgil is on the AJ trajectory.
Yeah.
In terms of the competition that they've both had and the amount of fights that they've both had at this point.
Because he's fighting former world champion at 140. This is why I don't nitpick them, right? One of the better names on Virgil's resume is a former world champion at 140 pounds in Mighty Mo Hooker. One of the better names on Boots' resume is a former world champion at 140 in Sergey Lipinets. Who had the better reign? Mighty Mo Hooker, because Sergey won a vacant IBF and lost it in the very next fight. Mighty Mo Hooker had title defenses. I would pick Mighty Mo Hooker to beat Sergey Lipinets for what it's worth.
100%.
Oh yeah.
I would pick him to beat Sergey. But if we're just going to go with what's on paper and what the facts of the matter are, Mighty Mo Hooker had several title defenses as a champion. He did. He lost when he tried to unify, but he defended that belt at least, I think, 2-3 times. Sergey ain't got no motherfucking successful title defenses. And he a little motherfucker anyway. Like, he was little, to me, he was little for 140. Mighty Mo Hooker was huge for 140, bro. He looked big at 147. So
100%.
Hooker, Lipinets. That's how 100%. I look at that.
And then the one that really the two that really do it for me in terms of resume, in terms of it being in favor of Virgil, is the Mean Machine fight.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
even
the Vargas fight. Is it Vargas? Who is it?
Samuel Vargas. Yep. Samuel Vargas.
So, even the Vargas fight. Even them two
beat the fuck out of Vargas, bro. But you know who beat the fuck out of Vargas? Conor Ben beat the fuck out of
Why? Can I please? I would love to see. I would love to see.
The name who could be thrown in with Boots and Ortiz right there, Conor Ben.
But this is the shit. It won't happen.
No, guys.
Conor Ben has the one thing that they know. He has the one thing they don't have: marquee value. Marquee value. That boy sell tickets, man. Like a lot of tickets, man.
Yeah,
like,
he got the marquee value because he's got his dad's name, the Ben name.
Yeah, Boot Ennis versus Conor Ben.
No. Listen, guys. Let me tell you something. Conor Ben is not ready.
No,
not ready.
Okay, just calm down with Conor.
Ben loses to both. Yeah, Conor Ben loses to both them.
Like,
Exactly.
listen,
Let's
this
not
the
listen to
wild
what
shit.
Conor Ben and
Brother,
Eddie Hearn said.
how
Just leave it
how
alone.
can
Just
you
Let me
say
watch the
that?
tell y'all.
fight.
Let me
Based
tell y'all
based
one
on
more
what?
fucking thing. Listen. Let me tell y'all one more fucking thing. If you told me tomorrow that Conor Ben and David Avanesian are gonna fight, I pick Conor by way of knockout, right? And David Avanesian is more proven than Boots. But if you told me
Thank you.
Conor, now wait, you told me Conor Ben versus Boots tomorrow, Boots will knock him out.
What about
100%.
Clayton
And I'm
and
not.
But
Clayton and
Jules,
Conor Ben?
based on what? Based
What
on
about
what?
Clayton and Conor
Boot
Ben?
Size. I would go
Size?
off of the
Okay, fair
size
enough. We're
and
not
the
looking at
switch game.
resumes.
You,
We're not looking at
Size
resumes.
don't win you
Virgil,
fights,
Virgil and
baby.
Boots are big.
Skill.
Virgil and Boots are
Size don't
huge.
win you fights.
Bruh. Boots is
You're
a
not giving me
fucking
too
junior
much job.
middleweight, bro. That dude
He's a
is a
junior
junior
middle, bro.
middleweight, bro.
He's gonna end up at
Why is he
middleweight. Could
fighting
even go super,
140-pound
in my
fighters
opinion.
then?
Say it again, Troy.
Yes, Boots is big, so why is he fighting 140-pound fighters?
I mean, like, I ain't
Good
go.
question.
I
He knew. His defense.
Trey,
I
you're
mean,
not that, you know.
hey, I'm
I
not
can't
capping.
argue with that, bro. You right.
That's true, but in his defense, he has been saying it is tough to find guys to fight him.
That's
So,
true
No,
too.
because he has 28 fights. I see a Danny Garcia fight on the horizon. Why didn't people go after Danny Garcia?
No.
while
Now
he was
wait,
still at
no. Wait a
147?
minute. No. Let's not be what they call that, intellectually dishonest. Do you think that Danny want any parts of that man?
Listen, none of them
come on, man.
Here we go with that again.
I'm being
I don't think
Troy,
so. I don't think so. But if you throw enough money at the man, he'll get in the ring.
But how you
Well,
go?
20 mil.
No, you're not wrong. But
20
I'm
mil.
gonna say if Boots ain't got marquee value, right? And we know that he don't got it because he hasn't had the big fights.
You're right. You're right.
Then we can't. All I'm saying is, as easily as Danny fought Ivan Redkach, as easily as Danny fought Adrian Granados, he would not fight Boots that fucking easily, bro. And
No. But in my mind, Julius.
No.
But in my mind, Julius, here's how it would work. I'm not saying it is going to work like this. You build cards. You don't really you build cards, right? Let's say you get Ennis against Garcia, and you get this boy here, Virgil Ortiz against you guys, and you get all the pieces to work together. That's a card that you build, and that's how you build.
Listen,
I understand it's not going to happen.
That's a fantasy card that's never going to happen, man.
Wait a minute.
I understand with all the parts involved.
I'm just going to say this to you, Troy. Look at how much belly aching and moaning Ugas did because of Stanionis. I would pick Virgil to wipe his ass with Stanionis, bro. I'm not even kidding. He would. I feel Virgil would wipe his ass with Stanionis. I seen Ugas biting his nails and writing resumes on Twitter, paragraphs, just because they ordered you to fight Stanionis.
That's the thing.
Wait a minute. I mean, aren't you? I mean, wait a minute. You're a champion. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Is fight your mandatory?
Listen, he doesn't even realize how the WBA was nice to him. The WBA was so nice to him. Give him the belt, give him this, give him that, give him the fight with Pacquiao, give him all sorts.
And Box Watch, as soon as they order him to y'all communists.
Oh, no. You
I left communism.
Bro, these guys are prima donnas, man, at the welterweight division.
No, but Julius, have you seen his wife? Ugas' wife?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Where's she from?
I wouldn't want to lose in front of her either.
Me neither. I would bite the shit out of her ass.
You know what that reminds me of? You know when you said that? You know what? That's why Chocolatito was a G. Do you remember when Chocolatito got knocked out in front by Saul Rongvasai, and his girl ran to the ring? She ran to the ring like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it!" Listen, he didn't give a shit. His wife is bad though. I got knocked out badly, man. That was horrible. I saw the first fight. I was there at the first fight in New York. That was on the Danny Jacobs and Triple G undercard. Yeah. And my man, Rongvasai boxed him about 3 or 4 times, 3 headbutts, bro. And they didn't take no points off of him, bro.
Let's be real. Chocolatito has been on the receiving end of some bad decisions. I don't believe he lost that first room B-side fight, but he definitely lost that second one. He did.
Yeah, all my days.
Yeah, he
did. There was no, listen. No.
Last year, he didn't lose that Estrada, and I say it all the time. The last year, he didn't lose the Estrada fight, bro. He got robbed. He
didn't lose the Estrada fight, man.
To me, he got robbed.
I struggled to give Estrada 5 rounds in that one there, though.
Danny Jacobs got robbed this weekend.
Yeah, man. You know, Chocolate
Danny
Teacup,
Jacobs,
is the Glenn Johnson of our
something?
era. He gets robbed a lot.
Yeah, because he got robbed against Triple G, in my opinion. But they were trying to. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I was sitting there watching it. It's just my opinion. I was there. I didn't have no commentators on that. I was there just watching the fight myself. He got dropped, but
somebody
he still won the fight.
Tell me, just tell me if you think that John Ryder won, which rounds? I know you don't, but for the people that it was in the comments telling me, nah, John, John. All right, just tell me which rounds you get, because I couldn't find more than 4. Do
you know what?
More than 4.
Do you know what? That you're being very generous. Personally, I gave him 3. But
7, 8,
there was a little.
9.
There was
7,
a little.
8, and 9. That's it.
There you go. There you go.
Jules, those scorecards were all over the place. I mean, like all scores were the same, and they had Ryder winning 2 and Jacobs winning 1. So that would mean like 115 and 130. That would mean like they gave somebody like 10 rounds. I mean, like it wasn't that. Come on,
bro. So somebody need to show me which rounds did you score. If you telling me, if you preaching to me to tell me
at gunpoint, yeah,
I would have to like listen, motherfucker. You gonna tell me which rounds you have,
bro?
A lot. These Nerf guns for my son. You gonna tell me which rounds you gave John Ryder? Which one? If you telling me that I'm bugging when I say this was a robbery, then which rounds did you give John Ryder? Which ones? You motherfuckers.
Do that line from Goodfellas real quick.
John Ryder won 8-4
right now.
Say it again.
John Ryder won 8-4.
Do that line from Goodfellas real quick, Julius, because you look like Joe Pesci right now.
Come on, bitch. Am I a fucking comedian to you?
Am I here for your amusement?
Am I here for your amusement? You think I'm here for your amusement? I'm fucking funny? You think I'm fucking funny? I make you laugh? Bro, I love yo, he's sucking.
Bro.
Joe Pesci is a great actor for that fucking scene.
He's one of my favorites.
Casino too as well. Casino as well. Yeah.
Bro, I'm sitting at home watching that shit.
Good actor.
I was scared to death for Ray Liotta when I first saw that scene. Like, we stuck the air.
Jules, can you do Rolly Romero, please?
I don't got my head. I don't got my head.
I got an impression. I can do it.
That's why I say I think you found him in Showtime. Just reminds me on see myself.
Rolly sound like he eat Gerber food. Like he go to the supermarket, he get Gerber food and eat that shit. Anyway,
you make fun of me, Julius. That's not fair. You say,
gentlemen, I gotta wrap it up because at 12 I'm gonna go to Punch Perfect Box's channel. We gonna chop it up on Punch Perfect Box. Always a pleasure. Enjoy your morning.
Wait, Jules, can I ask? So swap something before you go. Swap. Hold on. By the way, if you're still feeling raw about that 600 pounds you won, you could cash app it to me. By the way.
I didn't win shit. I didn't win. I put on the TKO. I put on TKO and yeah. I just got my money back. That's it.
Okay, for sure. If you feeling raw, but you could cash app it to me. By the way, underage.
Man, I'm pissed. I am fucking pissed.
Right. What
I said John Ryder was gonna.
They talk about. Hey, listen, I got
that John Ryder.
Gotta
go. Before you go, Julius and everybody on the panel, you got to stop by the Troy Graham Experience one time and experience it. Just stop.
Troy Graham Experience, yeah. All right.
All right.
I do.